everybody. Welcome to the final night of E3. E3 2018, that is. Yay. I'm still here. I'm Ben Hansen. I'll never leave. Brian Shea's here now.
Hello, everybody.
Kimberley Wallace.
Hello.
And Kyle Hilliard.
Hi.
How's it going, Kyle?
Good.
You don't sound good.
No, I don't feel great. I got sick this year.
Thank you.
Finally did it.
Right next to me. I really appreciate it.
You're so welcome.
How cozy. Everyone's punch drunk. Everyone's weird. Kim, I haven't seen you in a while at E3 here.
I was saying I haven't seen you at all.
It's
I
weird.
think
I didn't see Reiner
once.
until today. It was shocking that he was even at the show at all. I was like, oh, you're here. Where have you been? Just some paths never connect, even for gaming forum editors.
You can't lose me at this show. Like, I've run into you on like 3 different occasions on the show floor or in the hallway filming that Drake's thing or whatever it was, the snacks that were in the middle of the hall.
Filming the Drake snacks?
You were taking a picture of like that mascot thing.
The seagull pigeon thing. I just messed a lot of birds.
Well, we were thinking about Drake the rapper.
Yeah.
What was it?
What I was doing...
The chocolate cakes guy.
Yeah, but what is it called? I don't remember what the
I don't know what
brand
that was, but it had a huge crowd just to look at some guy in a bird suit.
Oh, they were giving out
something happening.
Cakes and throwing T-shirts and stuff.
And if you want to look at all this stuff, in theory, Leo's daily recap video today is going to be our equivalent to the show floor tour, where I filmed like in 10 to 15 second increments what felt like hours and hours of footage, because it turns out there's so much dumb stuff to look at that show floor, and like I love it not having to haul around the camera, and I can just whip out my phone and be like, hey, here's Harada, cool, blam, moving on, what's over here, here's some dumb
Wait,
dumb
so you
guy
didn't
in a
use
costume.
like the nice Game Informer cameras?
No. And I'm strangely proud of it.
SOB.
It's so much more efficient. No one's going to notice, although there was a crack in my camera lens. So if in a lot of the footage there's kind of like a J.J. Abrams like lens flare all the time, it has a stylized
That's on
look to it.
purpose.
A certain je ne sais quoi.
It's part of your craft.
It's artistic.
Yeah. Kim, have you had a good show so far?
Yeah, actually this year has been really good to me. I've had a lot of cool opportunities to interview some big names like Nomura on Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, we're just talking about how much we love him on the podcast.
Yeah, oh God. And
did he take a long time to answer all of your questions? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hey, zip it, Kyle.
Hey, sorry.
Good zips. And I got to talk to the quest designer of Cyberpunk.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's very exciting. We're definitely going to get into all that stuff.
I got to talk to the Dragon Quest team, so...
Oh, this is a lot of fun stuff. All right, so it seems like it's going to be a little more interview focused for some of those.
Yeah, I was really heavy on interviews this year,
cool.
Which I'm not going to complain about because that's how you find out the good shit.
Yeah, it turns out you got to talk to people.
Yeah, turns out plane's not enough.
Yeah, hope to talk about a little bit of Spider-Man. Kyle, you and I are pretty hot on Control. I think Shea as well.
I was hot on Control and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's the one game I'm really pissed I didn't get to see.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
Spider-Man or Control?
No, Control, because everybody has just been like, this is what we've wanted from Remedy. Like, they've finally reached,
for sure.
You know, their
peak Remedy. It does. It really feels Remedy is all hell, but it's a really interesting
This sounds a lot like the headline of the preview I will be publishing later tonight.
Spoil it, dude. What is it?
It is Control is good.
This game looks hot.
All right, Kim.
By Brian Shea.
We talked about the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers a little bit.
Wait, you talked about that without me? I can't even imagine how this went because you guys don't know what's going on.
They were bad
I don't know that the editors knew what was going on.
They were really
you
bad
guys
trailers.
Don't follow the fucking series.
Okay,
it's not the content.
Podcast, by the way.
It's not the content.
I'm not allowed to?
Yeah, I'd prefer if you did.
It wasn't
friendly. It's okay.
It wasn't the content of those trailers.
Oh, this is going to be a
Frozen.
problem.
Yeah.
Frozen is awesome, and Pirates of the Caribbean, all that stuff was awesome. It's just like it seemed like they were missing sound effects from like half the
It
trailers.
doesn't seem like they were. The back half of the 3 trailers did not have sound effects, and it sucked. But I don't want to focus on that. Let's focus on the gameplay and what you learned talking to Nomura. What's new? What excited you from this E3 showing?
All right. This is a big deal. Aqua has turned to the darkness in it, and Kingdom Hearts fans, Aqua's my favorite character, and so all these memes like popped up afterwards, like, you don't do that to my wife, and I loved it. For that reason, I was screaming because I actually talked to Nomura about it, and I was like, were you expecting that reaction? He's like, no, I expected everybody to be super excited about Frozen and not. So he's like, I didn't realize how popular she was, and he's like, I feel bad because I worry there's more surprises coming in the game, and he's like, I worry if people are going to be able to handle it like flat out.
Delayed another few years.
I hope they just do the Toy Story 3 ending and just all these MFers just go down in a ball of fire. That's exciting. So we had no hints that Aqua was evil until that trailer where
No,
the
I
person
mean, we
turned
knew
around.
she was like, she's been a character who's sacrificed herself a lot.
Okay.
And for Nomura, when I interviewed him way back in the beginning, I think this is my first interview on Kingdom Hearts 3, he's like, you'll be surprised who's on the light side and who's on the dark side. It's not going to be as cut and dried as you think. And then I saw that trailer and I was like, he wasn't kidding.
Is it going to be coherent to newcomers? Because I really don't feel like it is from those
Here's
trailers.
the thing that a lot of people ask me this, and if you are a newcomer, you're probably interested in the Disney worlds, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's fine. You don't have to. I have been following this story since I was freaking in high school, so I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And but I understand, like, going into it, I still think you can have fun just playing in the Disney worlds and seeing what, like, I'm so happy they got Pixar.
Very
I mean,
cool.
every time I really want to see the Big Hero 6 world because they've announced that, but they haven't shown it.
They had a piece of concept art like years ago, and that was it. And it was just Sora on the back of the character?
Baymax.
Big Hero 6.
Yeah,
Scott Adsit, of course.
Well, this E3, I didn't expect them to come out swinging with so much. And then I asked him, I'm like, do you guys have anything else to show with the world?
What else you got, sir?
Yeah, and he's like, well, we only have a few left to reveal now, but he still said more are coming. And he's like, you haven't seen the Big Hero 6 world. And I was like, no, we haven't. Bring it.
Yeah.
Your tease.
So yeah, he's a big tease. I mean, the
like
problem
such a
with
tease.
I was like, if you read his interviews, he always provides like hints and teases, and like he'll do that stuff with you where he'll say characters, but then he'll say you won't know which character it'll be, and people are like, is it plural characters? Or I'm like, that's how he said it. Like I don't know.
Do you know if previously, for like the lead up to 2 and the other ones for PSP and 3DS and stuff, did they withhold any worlds? Were there, like, when we played 2, were there any worlds that we didn't know about going into it?
And there's
That's
also,
interesting.
they haven't announced any of the ones they've designed from the ground up.
Okay, because I would love to go into that
Kingdom
game.
Hearts. Like, they're bringing back some worlds. I believe.
Well, Pirates is basically being
Well,
brought
yeah, but they're
back,
bringing
sort
back
of.
some of the original worlds that like are not Disney that they just made for the game.
Gotcha.
But
Wait, there's worlds in Kingdom Hearts that aren't Disney?
yeah.
That's just like the equivalent of like the island place in the first one.
And it's cool. It's cool.
It
Like
was
the
like
world
Traverse
that never
Town, right?
won was really cool.
Yeah.
Traverse Town's very iconic.
I would love to go into 3 and like be surprised by a world that they didn't announce, and I wonder
don't
if that's
think they'll
going to happen.
announce everything.
Yeah?
I really
I hope
want
so.
them to bring back Nightmare Before Christmas. And
Yeah, that'd be cool.
that's my favorite world, and all my friends are like, keep dreaming.
Look,
I don't
I'll
see
settle
it
for
happen.
Corpse Bride at this point. Hand to God.
I mean, Nightmare was in 1 and 2, right? That seems like a pretty solid bet
But
that it
do you
comes
guys
to 3.
pay attention to the pirates thing? Like fucking ship. God, I did it again. Ship battles. Like
Yeah.
seriously. Like though, I asked him because I was like, that looked like you were drawing some Assassin's Creed inspiration.
Yeah.
Because they remind me that he's like, yeah, a lot of people have brought. Nomura said a lot of people had brought that up to him, and he had actually. He's like, I haven't really played Assassin's Creed, so I've heard that comparison, but that wasn't the intent.
What was that Ratatouille thing in the trailer?
Yeah, I got him to talk about that.
Okay.
So there's going to be mini games throughout the journey, and that was a cooking mini game. So you like collect ingredients, and then you bring them to Ray from Ratatouille.
Wait, so then
Well, Remy,
is it like a
right?
miniature
What is it?
Sora, like filling in for the Remy role and like pulling
Yeah,
on
Remy.
the hair?
Sorry, did I say Ray? Whew, it's been a day.
It's totally understandable.
Uh,
You just
But
leaked
are-
that Star Wars
like
is in this?
who's yanking the hair? Are you controlling Remy? This is important
Well,
to me.
I think it's a mini game. He says you bring the ingredients to them, and like it gives you, if you have all the stuff for the recipe, like it'll make itself, and
Okay.
then you get like a stat.
Did they get
bonus or
Patton
something.
Oswalt? That's the important thing.
That's a great
I doubt
question.
it.
They
They
got
usually do.
Josh Glad though to do the Frozen stuff.
Well, I mean,
Oh, did they?
Patton
Yeah,
Oswalt
okay.
does video game voice acting now.
They
Yeah, that's
announced
true.
that, so I was like, oh, okay. But I don't think they got, I've heard the voices for like the Toy Story world, and I don't think
Yeah,
they got Tom
well, that-
Hanks or
Tom
Tim
Hanks
Allen.
doesn't, like, he never does that stuff, but
Mhm.
like, I don't know. I mean, maybe they will go and get
But
some
they
of the bigger
seemed
names.
like whoever they picked, like they obviously can
They're pretty
replicate-
solid,
Yeah,
yeah.
The
they're
Johnny
solid.
Depp was pretty good. If that wasn't Johnny Depp from
I
that
don't
trailer.
think it
They had an
was.
impersonator
I was
for
doing
2,
Yeah.
so, and he was fine. then.
Okay,
Probably
that
the same
seems
guy, I'm
alright.
assuming.
But I liked it too because he said that the Pirates world. I'm like, why'd you bring it back? And he said he really wanted to do a live action world because now that we're on like PS4, jumping from like, think about it, a console version was last time on PS2. He feels like he can now do that and really show off, like, make it look realistic.
Yeah.
So he wanted to do that on purpose, and then he thought more about it, and he's like, well, you can have ship battles, you can also like swim under the water, and like just bring different elements to it.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool. I watched people play. I didn't get to play myself, but I watched people play a lot of what's like the dark spooky world where they're attacking a giant. Is it like a Hercules thing?
Yeah, that's Hercules.
Okay, I saw
Titans,
people play
right?
that, and
So yeah.
boy, they seem to be all over the place. People like jumping off the cliff and like banging on a foot. It didn't look very graceful, and it seemed like the antithesis then to when I watched people play Spider-Man, and I was expecting it to be a real S show, as we say on this podcast, Kim. And it wasn't. Like, maybe just I was watching some good players, but like navigating that open world, I don't know if it just makes everything look graceful, or what's the story there, Shea?
It was super awesome. Like, that's probably the best it's ever felt swinging around as Spider-Man. Like, it's super smooth. It's the right trigger to shoot out the web, and then you release it to let go of it, so it feels good. The physics and the weight feel awesome. Like, it was unbelievable.
And they just let you just cruise around New York.
Not the whole thing. Like, I got to the edge of the demo, and it's like, you are exiting the demo area. Please turn back.
Isn't that fun? Even in the Hitman 2 demo, which I played, it's like, oh, go explore, and then it'd just be invisible wall. It's like, oh, that's right.
But the combat feels good, too. It's not just the swinging. Like, it reminds me with, like... kind of like the Arkham series, but not as many like counters. It's more like you dodge and then you attack. Like you can do certain moves that like will counter theirs, but like it's more about you taking the initiative, I think, than waiting for the attack to come your way.
Right. I was amazed how many times in the gameplay demo I was just watching Spider-Man would grab people with the web and then like bang their head against a beam to knock them out.
He's absolutely killing people in this game.
Yeah, but apparently not killing them. Not killing them at all.
They're dead.
They're so dead.
Yeah, and the finishers are awesome too. Like if you charge up, what was it, your focus meter? I think.
Yeah.
You can hit.
Like
I think it's like
triangle
circle
and circle.
and
Like Arkham,
triangle.
you know?
Yeah, and it does like a little mini cutscene, just taking them out. It's really cool.
What I find really interesting with Spider-Man is I have yet to hear someone who's played that game hands-on be like, I don't like that. Like, you're expecting it too, because people are very particular about, you know.
Oh yeah.
Spider-Man in general is a popular hero, and I have not seen anybody really be like, this is not great.
I think Insomniac's just crushing it. Like they are known for like having these awesome gadgets and like fun combat and awesome traversal if you look at Sunset Overdrive. So like they're the perfect team.
I missed that game, sorry.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Cut a wound in me.
Well, you should play Spider-Man. I think you'll like it.
Being at E3, it's the hardest place to gauge the overall take on E3 in some ways. Like, we know what it's like to eat the cafeteria food and wander from convention hall to convention hall, and our feet are sore and stuff. But I don't have a good idea of like the public's reaction, like what's like the holy crap. And I wonder if it's Spider-Man's year. It looks like a very, very promising game. And not to kiss our own ass or kiss Sony's ass for giving this footage, but do you feel like people realize like yep, that game's going to be great with the gameplay footage revealed with the cover story, and it doesn't have that big of a splash at E3 this year because of that?
I mean, ahead of that cover story, I feel like even I was worried that the game was going to be very much like on rails. Like every demo they had shown up to that point seemed like you're going through these streamlined sequences. And for our cover, like we got the chance to just swing around the city, and that was like, and they gave us some footage of that, which was very nice of them.
Right.
And that really was like, oh, this really is an open world. Okay, good.
And there's
now we get it.
So much to do in the world. Like I got up on a perch, and then like I think you click the right stick, and it like activates your world view or whatever, and it shows you all the missions around you.
Yeah.
And the first time I did it, there were like 20 icons that just popped up around me. It's like, wow, I could just go do a crap ton of things.
Ugh, that's wild. What do you guys think is the talk of the show, at least in terms of games? Like, not the official Game Informer game of the show. We'll get to that eventually, but let's rank them. What's number one?
Without a doubt, Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I think
agree.
Cyberpunk.
Okay, so what's number two?
Cyberpunk's like so far and away.
Smash.
I
think a lot of people are talking about Smash.
I would put Resident Evil 2 pretty high.
That surprised me too, because I've been looking forward to that remake forever.
Maybe.
And I just thought a lot of people are just like, it's a remake.
Yeah, it seems like a lot more.
Well, we just didn't know anything about it, but that remake, like, seems like they're spending a lot of money in that thing. Like the fidelity was a lot higher than I was expecting.
It's a completely new game.
Right, and it doesn't feel like a Revelations or even like RE4 again. Like it has like a weird smoother flow to it.
They said the combat is like RE4 though.
Yeah.
Well, there's this weird moment. I actually played the demo,
Okay.
and so for me, Resident Evil 2 is one of my favorite Resident Evil. Obviously behind 4, and
top 7 at least.
Yeah. Well, you know how I roll. But anyways, I played it, and it was interesting because you can go back to play Resident Evil 2 now, and it still kind of holds up. But like the graphics just like don't do it. Like
it's rough.
Now you go in, and it's just like the graphics are really good. Like the sound, the jump scares on top of that. But like just even during the demo, I was like, ooh, this is a little grody. Like not
it's gnarly
it's
stuff.
Different. It's different from what you experience, which I kind of feel like brought like a scarier tone to the game.
Yeah,
now,
the sound design
amped everything up.
Really seems great. There's this awesome scene. I played the demo too, and there's like you'll never guess. There's something banging on a door, like help me, and so you start to lift up this like grate in this doorway, and it's cool because then there's like this guy, and he's like, "You gotta get me out of here, man!" And he's like trying to like crawl under there, and then Leon's, he's a rookie cop, so he's like, "Okay."
I think it's his first day on the job, actually.
Woe is
He's
me.
having the worst first
That's right.
his job ever.
And so he starts pulling the guy underneath the like barely open grate, and then it's basically the scene from the very opening of Jurassic Park with like the Velociraptor cage, and they're like pulling on the guy, and then you eventually pull him through, and the zombie had eaten his entire lower half. Where it's like, that's some chompers on that zombie to take out like his legs and everything. But it's like a cool horror moment.
No, and I think it's cool too because we so much kind of miss those early survival horror games, and now I play this, and it kind of reminds me of all the stuff I miss in a way, and like
annoying puzzles, everything you need, very
You're
little
Hanson,
ammo.
like, Hanson, you don't like puzzles.
I know.
I think Kim and I, and probably Shea maybe too, like puzzles. They're not annoying. They're just puzzles.
I feel
Some
like if I
puzzles
had
can
an
be
hour
annoying.
with you guys, I could break you guys. You don't really like those types of
But
puzzles.
Of course I do. They make me feel smart.
No.
This one seemed much more focused on survival than I remember. Like I could not, kill. Like I had to run at certain points, and it's all about conserving ammo, yes, but I feel like it wasn't as much that. And then I asked afterwards, and Capcom said, yes, it is more focused on survival than the original was.
Like I ran out of ammo so quick in that demo. Like,
Did you really?
Oh, totally.
Oh my God, there was ammo all around.
No, I didn't beat the demo. I was just destroyed again and again. It was so hard.
Were
for
you
me.
annoyed by picking up the ammo? All that annoying ammo?
Well, that's the kind of puzzle I can't figure out. It's on the table. How do I get it into my pocket?
I'll just move on.
But another thing that's really impressive about that game,
Yeah,
and we talked about it
combine 'em.
yesterday. Yeah, I know. But it's really cool how, like, when the zombies attack you, it has like a really smooth camera transition where the camera's right up on you as the zombies like biting into your neck, to the point that you think that like, is this a game over screen? But like, no, it just brings you down to caution, and then the camera moves back out.
That's cool.
Some really well done camera work there. Okay, so Cyberpunk, clearly number one.
Yeah.
We talked about it a lot yesterday. Kim, you talked to a designer from CD Projekt Red?
Yeah, Quest
Just you?
designer
Was it a
today.
group interview?
Serial was with me.
Oh, God bless his heart.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was interesting because that was the first time we were able to ask questions, and I know like a lot of people, the temperature on it was like, there's no way this game's coming to current gen. Like it's gonna go to next gen. And I don't say it won't be like maybe a cross-gen game, but they assured me like they're like, no, our intention is to release it on Xbox One, PS4.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure
PC.
they are. I think my take, I tweeted this out and people were confused saying that it wouldn't come to current gen. I'm just saying that demo that we saw was very high NPC, and like I can't imagine that many NPCs walking around that night city on a PS4 or Xbox One. I don't think it's doable.
I wonder if there's going to be like a performance mode in Xbox One X and PS4 Pro that'll make it kind of comparable to that. Like this will increase the number of NPCs. I don't know.
It looks so
It was
good,
impressive.
though. I don't know.
I mean,
man.
Hanson and I were in the same demo.
Yeah, we kept looking at each other and going with our eyes shutting out of our
with our
skulls.
with our eyes. Yeah.
So
was
yeah,
absurd.
I actually did the Lord's work today and found out more about romances.
There we go.
And
That's what
so
matters.
that's what everybody wants to know.
That's what I'm here
Anthem
for.
doesn't have it, so someone's got to pick up the slack here.
Yeah.
And what I thought was really interesting, and I really respected their answer on it, was so now, like, so long they've had you embody a character, Geralt. So you had to go by like what Geralt like would be realistic for him, like sexuality wise,
Right.
who you pick. And
What am I gonna do?
this is the first time that you are playing as like a customized character and very much in your own skin. Now you can play it how you want to, but they told me, there could be relationships that you pursue. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks.
Sorry.
That are casual, but then there's also like you could go through this long, complicated relationship. They also are doing. You decide your character's sexuality. There's bi characters, there's gay characters. It's all up to you what you want to do.
Can you F robots, Kim?
Ooh.
You know what? I don't want to think about it.
This is a post-solo
I
world.
played
You gotta
Detroit Become Human. I don't want to think about this right now. That's
Kim, David Cage was in our session watching Cyberpunk, by the way.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Are
see
you
him.
kidding me?
He was in the little area when we were all
Was
exiting.
he just grimacing, kind of like?
No.
Yeah, he was punching through his hat.
How did I not see him?
I don't know. He was sitting right there. He had the name tag. No, he
Oh.
didn't. Well, that's good. So, in the demo, there's just like a quick little one-night stand thing where the V ladies like crawling out of bed,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, "Oh, good job last night. We really did it." But what kind of like long-term romances did you get the feel for?
Yeah, they said there are more like long-term and complicated ones. They also spoke to the fact that they said they're going to be more diverse and there's going to be more romances. So than you had with Witcher. Witcher, you only had a few. In the first game, you had more, and then
Yeah.
they've changed it. And I told them like I feel like they struggled a little bit early on about how they wanted to implement the romances and have it be something that felt like romance or felt,
Not just like an end goal.
Yeah, like,
I'm
not
gonna
just-
be with that person.
Yeah, exactly. And they did such a good job in Witcher 3. Like, honestly, I've played through it and I don't want to say done, but I've gone down Yennefer's path and I've gone down Triss's path.
Done it all.
And they made a good job with like what those characters do. And I
Like it gives you
depending-
confidence
Yeah.
in Cyberpunk.
I'm
Yeah.
really confident in that because this is what it feels like. And I was telling them this actually today is like, I want to see what they can do that's not Witcher, but they're bringing the stuff that I love from Witcher into this. Like, even when I was watching that demo, what's so great about Witcher and even Cyberpunk is like, you never know what the heck your freaking choices are going to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that unexpectedness is so rare and hard to get in video games,
Especially
right?
in a relatively subtle way, too.
Yeah,
where
it's
it's
just
not
the way they do it. Because like
Yeah.
I never know when I'm in those games what I'm gonna do. If I'm like, is this right or wrong, and how is it gonna come back to haunt me? And you don't get that. Like people like to go down like past like, oh, I think this is the good choice. I think this is the bad choice. And Witcher's just like I gave you a really hard choice. You made it. Now you got to live with the decision. So that's really exciting. They also said too they want to do. I asked them about endings. They said they want to do multiple ones. They wouldn't say how many,
Nice.
but they did say like the ending will reflect your entire journey through them.
Okay.
And in addition, I was asking about the RPG elements because a lot of people were like, "Oh my god, it's a shooter now."
People are scared of the first person thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it actually between the skills that you get to upgrade, which they assured me it's a little more complex than what The Witcher was, because The Witcher 3 had a kind of like the upgrade system was not as deep, but this one actually lets you put also stats into like anything, so you can improve your reflexes, improve your cool stat.
Yeah, I've heard about this cool
Yeah.
stat.
There's a cool stat?
Yes.
I didn't
so
see this.
you're
Oh,
gonna
what does that
fail.
mean?
No.
Hanson, what would your
My
cool
shirt
stat
again. I'm
be?
making fun of my shirt one time.
Yes, the shirt.
What would your cool stat be, Hanson?
Oh, it's just NA.
Just the Family
But-
Feud X sound.
Yeah.
But for someone who's an RPG fan, I could tell like they know that their audience wants those RPG elements,
Yeah.
and they're definitely there. They with all the gadgets and stuff you can do
So much.
with that world, like why would it not be a shooter? In a
Totally.
sense.
And the geeky little part in that demo that I really love too is like your first person, you're waking up with your lover, and then you go over to your closet and it's like, all right, you can pick out the shirt. But they're like, but of course the shirt you pick out will also have stats
course.
attached to it. It's like,
Yeah,
okay.
it's totally there. Even too, they said what they're able to do here that they couldn't do with The Witcher is there's a verticality to the world, and that's why they went first person. So I asked him like, well, am I going to be able to go into sewers? Are there going to be flying cars? And
mhm.
they wouldn't confirm any of that, but
So-
I got kind of a vibe that will be.
So like, can you
something.
climb things and climb up walls?
Well, he's like he put it to me this way. He said like the reason why they did it first person was for immersion reasons. Like when you look up, they wanted you to really see the world above you and be able to see where you could go and what you could do. You know, I got the vibe that they're still really early in the process and have not really decided on everything they're going to do. And so I think they're scared to commit to much more than what they know.
Yeah.
Because I asked how big the game is, and I asked, is it bigger than Witcher 3? Because I was curious, and the answer I got seemed to be like they are trying to go in that direction, but there's like right now 6 districts, and they don't know. You know, they know what people like about their games. Like we brought up those side quests that are just like so fun to go down and see how they, you know, impact the world and have those ripple effects. So I'm confident in it as an RPG fan, because I think most people would look at that demo and be like, there's so much like this shooting, and is it really an RPG? And I'm like, yeah, it is. Yeah. It is.
Yeah,
they know.
There. They know RPGs. I'd argue better than most people on planet Earth right now. So they're on top of everybody.
So I was happy to get a few more like details, kind of, you know, clarity on what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And
they don't have any really, not even a window, right? Just
no, that's why I
eventually,
say
right?
they're not saying, they're saying they're going for current gen, but that doesn't mean they can't cross gen.
Yeah.
This is gonna be that little, they're gonna be spreading on the 2 different
where you're just like,
so.
you wanna play it on the better. What game released? I can't
Watch
remember.
Dogs.
Dragon Age.
It wasn't it 360, and like the
Yeah.
first time
Watch
you're
Dogs
like,
too,
I'm
yeah.
not playing that on
Rise of the Tomb Raider. Yeah.
Yes, there you
Metal Gear
go.
Solid 5.
It wasn't
Yeah.
Rise of the
Metal
Tomb
Gear
Raider. It was
Solid
just
5.
Destiny.
Tomb Raider. Well, no, Tomb Raider was
No,
360.
Rise was years later.
Yeah,
so
this guy played Rise of the Tomb Raider on 360 like
I did.
a weirdo.
Yeah, I mean that came out a year beforehand though.
What?
No, Rise of the sequel to Tomb Raider
Oh,
released on
on a
360.
Oh my god, I forgot
Yeah,
about
it was
that.
like late. I didn't have an Xbox One. I was like, I want to know what it's like to play it, this stuff on last gen, and it was totally fine.
Yeah.
Like there was like some explosion effects where it chugged a little bit. Other than that, it's like,
Oh my god.
I'm that type of person who's like, I want to play this game on the best
Yeah, of course.
console I can get it on ramped up.
have you tried PC gaming, my dear friend?
My PC's broken right now.
What?
It's
I thought
very
you just got a
sad.
new one or something.
I had one built for me, and then recently it just
Flew
I can't
out the
swear.
window?
I want to say shut the bed, but I can't.
What the hell? We're live on the internet. You can't use that kind of terminology.
She whispered it. It's fine. It didn't pick up.
Oh, it doesn't
didn't pick
count
up.
if you whisper.
That's out of this world.
Even if you whisper directly into the
Look
mic.
at him. He has to mark it. It's so bad.
It's so
I
fun.
hate it.
Well, it's fun because it gives him extra work, so you can kind of like.
No,
use it
I
to
don't
your
want to
advantage.
give him extra work.
Thank you.
Dimitri.
Real
I'm
quick,
nice enough on that.
real quick. We don't need to dive too much into it. God, does anybody remember the name of the game that JV saw that he really liked from Avalanche? It's very tough to
Oh
remember.
boy! It
Oh,
wasn't
I
Just
remember
Cause.
the name of this. No.
Hang on, we can figure it out.
Nothing against Just Cause. It's just I know it wasn't that game. I'm not sure who saw that for. I think Jeffem saw Just Cause for us.
That's what I was going to talk about. Anyways, the other Avalanche game, JB was really into it, and I hope we'll talk about it next week on the podcast. But I saw Just Cause 4's demo.
Yeah.
And I went on the Just Cause 3 cover story trip, and that game just demos very well. When it's someone who's playing it that knows exactly the intricate details of how to control Rico in that world, and like the stuff they added, you just sit back and it's just here's a 20-minute demo, and it's just fun physics simulations. Let's go nuts. Like, don't worry about story, don't worry about any of that stuff, but it's super fun. Like they now have where there's like the booster thing where you can attach booster rockets to anything.
Yeah.
The twist now is in Just Cause 4 that's like remote, so you can like shoot boosters across the map onto things and then just hit the button and it'll just take off. Just a bunch of dumb weird stuff like that.
Also tornadoes.
They have like what are they, octo balloons from Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
What?
Where it's like little balloons you can also attach to anything, so you can just put these balloons on any object you want and then just line it up with boosters, jump on top, and just create a little spaceship to go across the map. And then like the big set piece thing, which Gears of War 4 also tries to use this for a set piece, and I don't know how well it comes across, but like the weather. Oh, there's real wind in Just Cause 4 now. And the big thing is the tornado. And it's kind of a dopey thing to have in your game, but
does the tornado just like come at random times?
it seemed that way. There was a mission that they showed us.
Is it an antagonist?
It does have a
name?
mustache, now that I think about it. A mustache twirling quickly around it. But there was a mission that involved, like, you're in a storm chaser vehicle, basically the truck from Twister, and you're going after this tornado. But I hope they're in the open world, too. But it was surprisingly cool just to see this tornado move through the environment and they insisted it was all real physics simulations where it would just pick up all these like cargo containers, all these vehicles, and they would just wrap around it. It's like, that's cool. The part that got me, this is why E3 demos are so much fun, because like it's a nothing, but it's something you've seen. It's like, I've never seen that in a game before, where Rico had a rocket launcher, and they end the demo with him firing the rocket launcher into the tornado. And it's so good because all the missiles with like the smoke trails don't go into the tornado. They then get wrapped up into the vortex, and then it's just like these rockets circling the outside of the tornado. It's like, done. Sold. That's good. That's good gaming, everybody.
They did it.
Also,
good job, them.
There's a very dorky moment in the trailer for that game, which struck me as weird. I don't know if you remember this, where it's like, we're telling a whole new story for Rico. And then he like looks at the camera. I forget if he winks, and then like the lady he's with also turns around and looks directly at the camera. And so I asked them, giving the demo, like one of the guys was the art director. I was like, what was that? Like, are you just breaking the fourth wall completely in this game? And he was surprisingly coy about it. Like, our narrative lead has some big plans for this game that I don't want to reveal right now. But if that's where they're going, and it's just like
completely self-aware,
the fourth wall 100%, do it just
that's the right way to go for sure.
Yeah,
totally.
I'd like that.
Let's see. Okay, talking about game of the show. Maybe this is just my perspective, but I do feel like there's also an undercurrent of, hey, underdogs at the show. It's a maybe debatably bad name, but you should check out this game, Control.
Yeah.
From Remedy. And we had Thomas Puha on the podcast 2 nights ago trying to explain what the hell this thing is from the creators of Max Payne and Quantum Break. Kyle, have at it, man. What is Control?
You talked to the guy that works for Remedy.
It did. We did. Yeah.
He didn't understand.
There's the Federal Bureau of Control.
Correct.
What?
And you become the leader of the Federal Bureau of Control. And you have a gun made of a Rubik's Cube. And there's sometimes a shadowy guy talks to you, and it looks awesome. I'm really into it.
So much more than that.
So here's the thing: your name is Jesse, and
Jesse Control.
You had
I don't think that's her last name.
A traumatic experience with an unexplainable as a child, and it left.
What's an unexplainable?
How am I going to explain what an unexplainable is?
Not explainable.
Yeah. Basically, she has supernatural powers.
Yeah, and it gave her powers, and she's looking for answers. So she discovers this secretive governmental organization called the Federal Bureau of Control, and they operate by.
I didn't.
Well, I mean, you guys were like this game. Like
I spoke to Sam Lake, so this is how I know this.
Really loves the said this
Look,
game.
The story setup is not why we love this game, and we're gonna get to why we
love
this
game. Okay,
basically,
I'm sitting here listening to this, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
So basically, she goes to the Federal Bureau of Control looking for answers because they deal in investigating unexplainable events on Earth.
It seems
what that means is the environment is trippy as all hell, and it's constantly.
So she goes to this place.
Is it giving you like Alan Wake vibes?
Yes.
Like that.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So she goes to this building called the Oldest House, where they are, and it's a skyscraper in Manhattan.
Yeah, it's the oldest house. It's very clear.
It's a skyscraper in Manhattan, and turns out a group, or like a mysterious supernatural group of creatures called the Hiss have invaded, and they have killed or possessed all of the agents in this governmental organization.
Okay.
And she panics and finds a gun laying on the ground, and she picks it up, and it turns out that gun was the former gun of the director of that Federal Bureau of Control.
And the gun talks to her. No.
And
she does a persona and puts it to her head.
It would not surprise me.
It's a powerful item, like that. It basically, her having this gun makes her like a new director.
Yeah.
This is the problem, Shea. You talk to Sam Lake, and so you just have the lore-heavy explanation.
Yeah.
What it means practically is the gun reshapes itself like it's made of little cubes, like a Rubik's Cube, so it can transform from a pistol into a shotgun into all these other types of guns being the same gun.
But it's meant to be like a conspiracy theorist kind of like supernatural
things are happening all the time,
I like that
but they
it's
take it on
supernatural.
they take it under control and make it so nobody else knows about it. Pretty much.
Yeah, like the names are admittedly silly, but I am totally intrigued by it because it does seem like this weird, mysterious shadow organization that controls things that she's kind of thrust into against her will, and
she's losing control.
Yeah, like in the inside of this facility is in like just things are going crazy, and it's weird.
The facility. We need to talk about this one little thing. Like my favorite part of the demo is she's in this certain room in this hallway because it's Kim. I don't know if we've explained this. This building's crazy.
It's weird,
and they explained
I don't doubt it.
They have a very cute developer catchphrase, which is, "We consider this building a world within a location.
A world within a location.
What,
good.
what is with these?
It's a good
actually
concept.
I actually like that.
Captain
You
Obvious
just
on
talked about
everything.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
crap
that
sucks.
lore is deep. Okay,
Uh-huh.
like
I actually that phrase I like, and I can explain why in a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the coolest part is that it's trippy as all hell, but there's this one hallway where Jesse is like walking down the hallway and there's just little rooms off to the side. It feels a little bit like that movie that I can never remember the name of.
The Matrix.
No.
no,
That
that's
stupid the horror movie with Sigourney Weaver's in the caverns. Cabin in the Woods. There we
yeah,
go.
there you go.
Sigourney in the caverns. And so you're like going down this hallway and there's just a series of bizarre objects that this organization's trying to keep under control.
Mhm.
And it's so good. And in the demo, they only look at like a couple of them, but one of them, this is good
Poor
video game
guy.
storytelling. One of them, as far as I could tell, it was like a vending machine, right?
Yeah.
It's a refrigerator.
Okay, it was a
A
refrigerator,
refrigerator, okay.
style vending machine
Wait,
type
what?
thing. Okay,
Just-
here we go.
Just bear with us,
It was
Kim.
this refrigerator vending machine type thing. It looks like the robot in Grand Day Out from Wallace and Gromit, basically. And there was just this guy in a chair looking at this, like behind this plate glass. He's like, "You've got to help me. If I look away, this thing changes. Like, I need to keep looking at this. Like, I've been on this shift for too long. They left me in charge of staring at this thing, or else it turns into something unnatural and like into some sort of demon." And he just can never look away. But I don't know why he
Yeah,
was left on this shift for so long.
Well, because everybody was killed or like possessed.
Yeah.
So if he looks
Presumably.
away from this fridge,
He
it'll maybe
loses
destroy the
control.
world.
He loses
So
control.
That's
that's
Yeah.
an example of one of their side quests that you can do. So like you
Yeah.
can choose to help this guy, or you can just leave him back behind.
Why would you leave him?
Because you've got stuff to do.
We got an E3 demo
But I
to
mean,
show up.
I know you're not like. Do you guys watch Lost at all, or ever? I know
No.
there's a very the people who
I
watch
grabbed
Lost.
my remote control.
I watched
Hey.
Felicity, not Lost.
Okay,
by
well,
JJ.
pretty much the same thing. But there's like a character in the vault in Lost who has to enter a code every couple of hours, like over the course of like months and months and months. It's very reminiscent of that, of just like
Yeah.
people being forced to do this like insane thing, and yeah, it's.
But
Very
yeah, so
cool.
Jessie has all these powers that like she can manipulate things around her. Like she can shoot up like
she has the force.
debris from the ground. Like a guy came around the corner with a shotgun, started shooting at her, and as soon as he did that, she like lifted up all this debris and blocked up the bullets with
That
her.
reminds me of Quantum Break, though, a little
Yep,
bit.
Well,
same
bit.
director as Quantum Break.
Yeah.
I know,
The
but
tech
like,
looks a lot like Quantum Break.
It
Yeah.
does. It seems like they're going a lot further with
but they
it. though.
learned like more since.
Yeah.
And
And you
even
can like
then, like,
grab things off the wall or like a table and throw them into guys
Totally.
or levitate. Like
We
all
should,
kinds.
we should point out it looks much better than I was expecting. Maybe that's just
It
an
looks
overall
great.
trend of E3. Is like, oh, games are further than I thought. But going into that, it was like maybe it's a little bit of like 5 out of 5 games. How good can this game look? Where it's like, no, it's Remedy. It
looks
turns out that
very
game
good.
looks
Um,
super
Yeah.
good.
Did they put a release date on it?
2019.
Is all they said. But yeah, the levitating is a huge one, and the weird twist is they pitch it as like it's got flavors of Metroidvania, where you're going to get these
Yeah.
different abilities, then go back, and it's a much more more open ended than any Remedy game
Like
before.
the simplest one they showed was like a bridge that was out that she couldn't cross. She had to find the ability to levitate in order to move across it.
And it's like full on flying. It's not just like
Yeah.
levitating like this far off the ground. It's
it's
like
weird.
And it's awesome using it in combat. You can like float up in the air and shoot people
Just
and
like
stuff.
Peter
Reminded me of
Pan
that
can
weird
fly.
Yeah,
Princess
Yeah.
Leia.
and also just
scene.
the animation of her moving and like it's very psychological horror. It's not like gruesome like horror. It's more like Twin Peaksy kind of weird,
Yeah.
Yeah.
messed up stuff. And like
Like the building's
the
always
building's
shifting.
like moving and shifting and like what was their phrase that you said? The
World within a location.
the world within a location. Like
Kyle really wants to explain why he likes that.
I really do
Uh-huh.
like that because like this is a very specific thing that I like about in video games and certain video games is staying in one place. Like my example is always Shadow Moses and Metal Gear Solid. I
Right.
love being able to like stay in one location and really learn it really well.
Is
And
this
that
why you never leave your house?
that's right. Yeah,
Okay.
that's so and also
Right,
why I
that
didn't really like
leaves
Metal
The
Gear Solid
Office
4.
either.
'Cause those are the two places I know. Those two places really well. But like
Arkham Asylum.
Remedy's shooting is always fantastic, coupled with like creepy ass like weird laboratory stuff that reminds me of Inside with like
Yeah.
bodies floating in the air and
Mhm.
stuff
Color
like that.
scheme, very much so. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and then like a little bit of Metroidvania and being able to fly and shoot people with Remedy shooting. I'm super on board. It is personally my favorite game of the show. I didn't see
That's-
Cyberpunk,
that's-
but
It's probably
order.
my top 3. Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
I think it's
You
probably
didn't
my
It might
top
be
three.
I
Spider-Man
didn't
is
see
my number
Cyberpunk.
2.
No, you didn't see Kingdom Hearts.
I saw the trailers for Kingdom Hearts.
That's not no.
I'll play it. I'm very excited for that game. I'll
Uh,
play it when it comes out.
The part
I won't.
the only concern I have about Control, I don't know if it's a concern, but just like I don't know how they do it because that demo the environments are shifting so much. It's like, how can they keep that pace up? And is it, I'm sure this is the most focused slice they could show, but if the world is actually shifting that much, I can't imagine the scope of that game and the production.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
has to
Kim,
go through.
we've both played Alan Wake, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I love Alan.
Alan Wake has a little bit of that consistently of the world
Okay.
like shifting and moving around, and it's done very well. And yeah, I mean, one of the other tertiary reason of why I'm excited for that game is because it reminds me more of like the Alan Wake side.
Yeah,
of
when you
Remedy.
said that, I like got really interested in it.
so-
I
and-
just don't like the names for stuff. Like
Well,
Captain Obvious.
It's,
Yeah.
it's a little Bungie-ish, just like the one syllable,
Yeah.
one quick word.
But yeah, and I asked because I pointed out to Sam Lake, I was like, hey, look, like not to say your games get predictable at the end, but like,
Oh, no,
girl.
you didn't.
like once you get into like the gameplay loop, you're like, okay, I have a grasp on this. And I said, this seems like you have a lot more like unpredictable elements in it. Are we going to be kept on our toes a lot more? And he seemed like, yeah, that's what we're going
So
for.
you
is
gave
we
him
wanted
a
to keep going.
question that was kind of an insult. You're lucky you even got a response.
And then
Yeah.
they
Then
gave him
he
the chance to say, "Are you going to keep us on our toes?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, the Control's the
spat
type
on
of
me.
game where I'm feeling confident that in 2019, when you talk about greatest moments, I
Mhm.
bet the ending of Control will come up. Because if
Yeah.
it's that trippy in the middle of the game,
That was the middle game. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I'm
was,
sure
that
the
was-
end is just going to be a kaleidoscope of
Bonkers.
buildings
Yeah.
in a shootout. Like
It's going to go full on Inception.
Yeah.
full
like it-
Inception.
I mean, they
Another
keep
thing I really like.
just-
They made this game for me. Thanks,
Yeah, they really
Remedy.
did.
I appreciate
They're doing
it.
a good job over there for
They
sure.
always think of you, Kyle, when they're
Yeah.
creating
I really
games.
left my footprint there when I went to visit for Quantum Break. Or
Well,
left
you
a
did
list
draw
of things
yourself
I like.
on the whiteboard in their meeting room, I believe.
No, I didn't do that.
I drew a picture of you.
Oh, okay.
Wearing a T-shirt that said "I love."
Did you also write it? I love the video game Inside. Please make that, but with your
Uh-huh.
shooting mechanics. Thank
Kyle,
you.
I thought of you today where I played
Aw.
this little game in the in one of the halls. There's like this abandoned ghost town known as the Facebook gaming area, where they had like demos of upcoming indie games that
Yeah.
all seem well done, but just no one was over there. And even the staff that was over there I was trying to talk to, they just didn't know anything. They're like, I don't know, we were just hired out for this. I don't know who made this game, when it comes out. I couldn't tell you anything.
Need some help with your Facebook status update.
Right, but it's like, oh, Knights and Bikes. I wanted to check that out.
Yeah.
And have you seen that at all yet?
Yes,
Kim?
yes, I saw it at GDC.
Okay. So it's from
Mm.
Rex
Yeah.
Crowley, who's the director for Tearaway, I believe, and he's also worked on Little Big Planet 1 and 2. He left Media Molecule. It's this indie game. The presentation of this game is stupid beautiful.
Yeah.
it's cool.
Absolutely adored it. It from the beginning, it's like, it's a series of little puzzles. Seems like an
Mhm.
adventure type game. You're riding around on your bikes in this larger world. It feels a little bit Night in the Woods ish. It's
Yeah,
also
no,
co-op
I
where
could
you're
get
with your
that,
buddy.
yeah.
But just the presentation, just like, please look up video for Knights and Bikes. Just little things like when you get back on your bike, it'll have like an insert shot of like your hand like gripping
Mhm.
the handlebar and stuff.
Yeah.
Kyle, did it charm the pants off you?
Yeah, it's really cute. I like the premise of like just kids really leaning into their imagination while just like interacting with the real world.
Costume Quest.
Yeah, like just like we gotta
Well, that's like the new
conquer this
Life is
castle.
Strange
Is that
they're
true?
having.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, how is that?
Yeah.
What is that thing called?
I honestly, right now, I
Uh-huh.
don't know.
Captain Underpants and the Fantastic
Yes,
Mission
there
or
you
something?
go. Yeah,
Okay.
someone
Captain
was-
Wonder, maybe.
That
I
sounds
don't know.
right.
I'll get
Ah.
These
to
are all
it.
sound good.
I'll get to it. How is it, Kim? What is this thing?
Okay, so it's obviously Don't Nod's gonna make Life is Strange 2, but this is a free episode in between that. That's for free, which you can really respect on that. That kind of gives
What
you
are
a
they
hint.
doing?
I
Why would they
think
do that?
either you're gonna play as this kid when he grows up, or this kid's gonna do something really bad, and then you're gonna have to like confront him. And I don't know. I've been thinking about it, but what I like about it is so often, like, they had Max and Chloe's relationship front and center, and that was like a good insight into a relationship between two teenage girls. This focuses on a young boy who has an imagination, and he pretends he's a superhero who has these powers, and he goes
Yeah.
around, and like his dad's a big jerk because he drinks at breakfast, alcoholic, like typical. They repeat some beats from the first game, which kind of bothers me in a sense, but at the same time, I think seeing a game through the eyes of a little boy, actually, we do not see as much.
Little
and
boy games. It's true. Limbo, Inside.
But even those, I mean, you're not.
Yeah, like this is
Right,
like
you could say Zelda, but I mean
like
that
yeah,
you're
this
not
is
really.
just you're
Wind
embracing
Waker.
your imagination and
Right.
trying to figure out like he has different powers that he can get. He's got to wear his cape. It's if you like Life is Strange, like let's explore every area. Let's see where we're gonna go next. It seems interesting. I just don't know what this is leading to.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's
free.
weird
Does he
that
wear
they're-
his
Strange.
cape everywhere?
I don't know. I
You
didn't
should deal
play
with
the
like the
whole episode.
repercussions of wearing a cape to
have-
school.
Getting
Have
bullied.
they said that the second season you're playing as Max or anything about like
no,
what it
they
is?
said they wanted. I remember like a while ago they wanted to like start new because
Okay, that's smart.
Max and Chloe's story is over. Like
Right.
you've gone as far as you can go.
Yeah.
So the second season, I'd like them to do something drastically different. Like focus on like a really-
Entirely new character.
Yeah, entirely new character. Like focus on a guy. Like I'd like to see that perspective a
Let's
little
see
bit.
some
and
bad
then-
writing from the point of view of a little child and his father. Let's get some new Don't Not Entertainment in there. A lot of things to like about that game, but oh boy, come on. Anyways, the game.
Hella.
Fun fact, yeah. Fun fact, it's hella called The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit.
Oh,
So
this
we were
close
Try
to
and
wonder.
not
It's
forget that.
I kept
goddamn
thinking
name.
Captain Underpants. Just
I know,
because
you can't get it out of your
I
head.
Captain Wonder. I felt pretty good about.
I
that.
thought so
Yeah.
too.
You know who
We
I
did
was
our best.
surprised? Jeff Cork is like all over that game. Like
Oh, yeah.
he's so excited for it.
Yeah.
Just that one?
Yeah. I mean not just that one, but like that in particular, that one free episode.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
too, Cork's a father, I think,
Is it-
seen perspective.
Is
of
it big
the
guy?
way-
he wears
Is it
underpants.
little guy in a big world situation?
It
No,
might be. Well,
never
I guess
know.
he does kind of use his imagination and he puts himself in environments with big creatures. So I
Yeah.
don't know if technically
Yeah,
that
so you
counts.
have, like,
but-
these-
That's all it takes
You
for
have these
Cork.
quote unquote battles or you make these choices with dialogue.
Yeah. Okay.
You can call your dad out for drinking. He's not gonna be nice about
Every
it. though.
child's fantasy. So we got to
Wow.
We Happy Few from the studio that's now an official Microsoft studio.
Yeah, and it's still coming to PS4. I got the hot scoop.
That's very weird. So
Ooh.
Compulsion Games are still releasing it on PS4. It's like a Minecraft
Yeah,
situation.
and with a PS4 Pro enhancement.
I'm sure they'll ask them to quiet that down in the marketing.
You know, I saw that game like
2 years ago now, probably.
think
right?
3 years ago I
longer
saw
than
it.
that. It
Yeah?
was like close to when I first started at Game
Okay.
Informer, so maybe like 2 years in. And just seeing that game every year, it becomes a different
Annual
thing.
tradition.
Well, it seemed
Yeah.
like they got out of the gate with more narrative focus. People were like, "This is Bioshocky," and then they played up the systems and the random generation, procedural generation a little bit more. And then the trailer again this year was leaning heavily on that story stuff again. So I don't know how much they're shifting their priorities.
Yeah,
Well, I
so-
talked to
they've
someone.
shifted a lot.
I talked
Yeah.
to a
Yeah.
person, and they said like they just got a whole bunch of funding, which is why they're able to shift back to the narrative.
For Microsoft,
I don't know,
It must
but
be,
I mean, I
right?
guess not because that was such a recent announcement. I mean, they may have done it, but
Yeah.
like,
I think they would have.
But Shea and I think both you and I probably played an hour.
yeah, it was
give
an
or
hour
take.
long
And
demo.
I played the original Xbox early
I did
access
too.
version.
Yeah,
I
when
was
it
not
just
impressed
like,
at all.
No, everybody was like,
Which
"This
was-
is not what the trailer advertised." It's just a
It was like a survival game where you
Yes.
just stayed alive as long as you could. When you died, you restarted. But the demo that Shea and I, or not, what Shea and I played today, which was like starting from the beginning again, was like story scene. You know, go to the next objective, story sequence, go to the next
Mhm.
sequence,
Mhm.
story
Really?
objective.
Yeah,
It is completely different.
it has all those systems still in place. Like they still have the survival stuff of like,
Yeah.
oh, I got hungry, I got to eat, and then like there's
I mean, that's how
thirst
it
and
goes, right?
sleep and
But it's been
Yeah.
scaled back
got hungry,
significantly.
I gotta eat.
Like one thing
Except to
they said to
D3.
me was like,
Yeah,
for
true.
example, like if you don't sleep, like maybe you move a little bit slower.
your
and you're not
stamina
as
bar
strong.
maxes out,
but you
at
don't
the lower
die.
point.
Kyle, were you
You
know?
taking the happy pills? I have to ask.
I've been meaning to
No.
ask you that as well, Kyle.
I've
Are you
not been
okay?
taking the happy
Are
pills.
you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I
Okay.
was in. Yeah.
I,
But
I think with this game, they received such feedback that's like your game is kind of not meshing up to like what people see in that trailer, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what they want. So I wonder how Microsoft just decided like, hey, let's pick them up
Hey, let's make an entirely
because they've
different
been
game.
in early access for a long freaking time.
I mean, the
feel
systems in
like.
there are good. It's just like the framework was unexciting.
But I'm way more intrigued now. Like,
so am I. Like
it's-
I'm looking forward to playing.
now.
it.
Really?
There's a
Oh, actually,
narrative.
it's joy pills. Sorry,
Joy-
I
yes,
just
thank
realized
you.
I messed that up. It bothers me
But
now.
yeah, you play as like a character as a backstory, and you find little story sequences about your relationship with your brother.
Mhm.
And like, I
Oh.
actually went through this like underground, tournament where I had to like fight other
Yeah,
people
same,
and
yeah.
stuff, and like It is
It
super
sounds
duper story
different.
focused now, like where it feels
Weird.
like it feels like a
And
completely
it's weird
different
to think
game.
of like Microsoft funding this, if that's where that additional funding came from, to get in the framework of so that when they can make their next IP, that Microsoft can proudly say, from the creators of We Happy Few, but
Yeah.
if it's a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10 experience, then
Yeah.
they can't champion that purchase, you know?
What
So
is
I mean,
that?
it's
What is that game that they started with though? Compulsion Games.
The Shadows one, right?
Contrast.
Contrast.
Yes, because they had that. I actually reviewed that first because
That
it
was
was
a PS4 launch
yeah,
title,
they
yeah.
a launch
PS
title.
Plus launch title too. Right? I think everybody in the world played Contrast because it was like right out of the
Well, we
gate.
certainly
Yeah.
downloaded it.
Yeah.
Those
You,
downloaded on
you
I
didn't
think
have
that
to
it's one of
play
the-
it to
I
the
didn't have
end.
to play it.
We Happy
Which
Few.
like the aesthetic was very good, and that's why I
Mhm.
feel like We Happy Few, and you're just like if they realized kind of what people liked and wanted to stay with Contrast, just like technically a little bit better, it could be a good thing. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping all this time they've spent on this game. This one makes me nervous when someone spent a lot of time on a game. You're like, is this going to be all for naught? Like,
Yeah.
is it going to?
Twas all for naught.
I think
game
it's one of
developer.
the bigger improvements I've seen like between two demos.
Yeah, that's,
Oh,
that's
that's
really
great.
that's really promising. I'm
That's good
I'm
to hear.
happy to hear that because I was a little worried.
Yeah.
I was too.
Speaking of promising, there's a game on the concourse hall, little side hall at E3.
Oh, another one.
that promises to debut a next-gen battle royale experience,
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
as they put it. And then, asked for details, they say, well, not literally next-gen, but like it's launching on PS4.
It's a buzzword, all right.
But you know, like conceptually next-gen-ish, which they're pulling out all the stops. There's a game called Mavericks.
Proving Grounds.
Yeah, we have a
There we
preview
go.
of it in this issue, actually.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So the twist with this is they'd previously announced a number, and then at E3 they upped the number, which is very fun and I think kind of funny, to saying this is Battle Royale, but because it's next gen, 1,000 players.
What?
Come
They,
at
they
me.
upped it. It
So-
was 400 like
Yeah.
a month
Now
ago.
it's 1,000.
So they're saying they have the capability of doing up to 400, and they have
Oh,
because Hans and
boy.
I both I got I think a longer version of their presentation. They have a lot of promises that they're making about the future of this game. Like they see it as an MMO that happens to have a battle royale mode in it,
Well,
and like their long term goal
yeah.
is to have 1,000 players with teams of 5, all like competing in a huge world.
That just
What a
sounds
nightmare.
crazy.
well,
Yeah.
they said it has to be the squads like of the 5 and all that stuff, or else the matches they said are going to last for hours, and they want to hit that like 30-minute battle royale
Yeah.
match
1,000
criteria.
players?
But they said they're like we're looking forward to like having events in the future, which are like more of a novelty thing where they're gonna have the solo 1,000 players. But this is a good example of an E3 demo where they talk big about like next gen battle royale. We're launching with it this year, and
Closed
then-
beta this year. Yeah.
right? And then also in the fall, I think I think
Battle royale will.
That's it.
come
But,
out, yeah.
but this is the baseline because beyond that, we're expanding this into a whole MMO. The
Yes.
Mavericks.
Yeah.
What?
They
MMO
see it
like
as an MMO.
experience?
No, this just sounds crazy.
They see it more.
It's wild.
It sounds almost more like Destiny, but then there's a battle royale mode in it because it even
Nah,
has like that. It kind of has the tower equivalent.
And so it's like maybe they're hoping to fund the MMO by the success, in
I
theory, of this battle royale.
Do you know what I
version.
see with the 1,000-player mode? Everybody starts and they just kill each other immediately because everybody's going at
well,
that.
Well,
the map is supposed to be big enough to handle it. So.
I don't know.
we'll
I don't
see.
believe it.
It's a lot of that talk
Landing
and
on
talk
top
about
of
like
each other.
it's big on their use spatial OS is the tech, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's all being run in the cloud, so we can do stuff like Rainbow Six Siege style like destruction in the houses, and it's not quite as detailed as that, but like you can shoot through walls, blow stuff up, which is cool. It's great in games. They also say stuff like it'll track every footprint of every player thanks to the OS stuff.
I don't know if I'm buying this.
Here's the thing, and then you
Oh.
say, can I play this? And they bring you over to the other room, and they're like, well, because it's an E3 demo, we have to limit it a little bit. So it's like just like a couple houses in this tiny
Oh,
arena.
7-player battle royale.
It was.
I mean,
was
yeah, it was
literally
Oh
like
my
five
god,
of
it
us.
really was.
But
Well, I mean, they.
You know.
How else could they? What could they have
Get
made an
the-
appointment with 100 people? I mean, that's how they
1,000.
have to demo it.
1,000 people.
1,000 people maybe wanted to
But
see that
so
game, and
yeah.
they
so
really
I
limited
both Hanson and
themselves.
I
One
played
appointment.
it.
yeah,
And like they did have some of that destructibility. Like I was able to, I went into a house and I was able to shoot up into the attic, and like it did break apart, and like I could shoot through walls and stuff like that. And then it did start raining, which might not sound that impressive, but in a battle royale mode, it's kind of
to
interesting
have
that
dynamic weather.
yeah. So like
Yeah.
they even showed like snowy locations, but it did rain in the demo. And then they also like one of the examples I had was like player tracking. Like the idea is that they're promising that like you'll be able to track footprints, you'll be able to track if people are bleeding, they'll leave like blood trails and bullet casings.
It's a lot of promises.
It is super ambitious.
Nothing but promise.
Yes.
And, we'll see if they can land a skydive. Here's the twist, and this is again why I love E3 is I went in for that demo. Oh, some friends are honking horns. Hello, LA. And so
the police are coming.
Went in for this demo where it's like, what can I see that's just quick and easy and I don't need an appointment for? It's like Mavericks. I'll see this. We're going to talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
And so walked in there, and then they're like, oh, we don't have a session set up, but we can get one set up for you. Here, let's get some chairs. And so I pulled a chair out, and I made a joke where I said like, yeah, I guess if we line up enough chairs, we can make like a fake couch I could lie down on. And then this fine gentleman, he's like, hey, yeah, let's do that. And so he starts like making these chairs, and then he starts like holding up other chairs horizontally, like the back of the couch.
You're such a diva, man.
I know. Well, look, it was all just jokes. And then the guy that was going to give the demo, he's like, oh, Ben, have you met Bill here? And so I shook this Bill guy's hand, and look at his name tag. He's like, Bill Roper? Like, from Blizzard fame, like the guy who created the story for Diablo, was a producer on StarCraft, like Hellgate London, which might be an important key point. But it's just crazy that like I had no idea you were working with Improbable Studios. I had no idea that this was connected to this dude in any way. And that explains why throughout that entire demo, they're like talking of this MMO and this larger city and a larger world of like, we're going story focused for this thing eventually. And we got Bill Roper at the helm to land that ship, which is cool
They're
talent.
not crowdfunding on any of this, are they?
No.
Okay.
It's going to be free to play, but you can buy into the like closed beta. You can be like a founder for like
free to play has never
$30
worked for any
like that.
battle royale games.
That's true. That's Mavericks, everybody.
Yeah.
Keep your eye on
Crazy
it. Closely.
ambitious, like absurdly ambitious.
Right.
And we'll see, man.
We'll see. We'll see. That's
Hey, you
fine.
have to have confidence in what you're creating.
True.
I
Do
can
you?
respect that.
What
World
you're
War
creating.
Z, Kyle.
Oh yeah, we can do this quickly.
Super quick.
World War Z, very cool. It's I was very impressed with it. I wasn't sure what I was going into because it is a licensed game based on the movie. This is a weird thing. It's
like
based
the sequel?
It's I guess it's same universe. It's it's weird because it's based on the movie's license, not the book's license.
World War
But
P.
they said they're like borrowing the structure of the book. I don't know if you guys have read the book World War Z, but it's very much like
It's like a manual.
it's
right?
like a number of singular stories. Like every chapter is a specific character.
Yeah.
But I mean, the sort of elevator pitch for the game is it is third person Left 4 Dead. And the
third person is interesting.
yeah, and then the other thing, which is great, like there's a couple of games that are coming out that are kind of like borrowing that Left 4 Dead structure, and it's fun.
yeah.
I really like Left 4 Dead. But I think the thing that will set this apart is like, remember the really cool, like one of the coolest parts about the film were the way that zombies worked. They were basically like ants almost, where they would like pile up on each other.
I played Days Gone. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they've simulated that really well in the game. Like there was one sequence where we were like on the upper floor of a mall, and I was watching the zombies like climb up on each other to create a ladder to get up there.
Really?
And then we had to work together to like thin out the horde as it was coming up. And there was like another sequence where we like set off an alarm, and we could look in the distance down the street, and we saw that World War Z style crazy horde coming down, and it looked really good. And then as far as the shooter goes, like it played really well, and I had a good time with it. Like I kind of went in expecting like a licensed game, and I walked away kind of feeling like this is like a really good Left 4 Dead style game.
Who's making it?
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up, but I know
Certain
that.
Affinity?
Okay, forget
I
I
think
asked.
it's certainly because they have some history with like Master Chief Collection and stuff like that. Like they've worked. It's not 343, but they've worked on like good shooters and stuff like that. So I'm interested in it. I want to play it more when it comes out.
Yeah. That sounds
I
really
would
cool.
like to.
Yeah.
Shay, what's your E3 been like overall?
Been weird because I kind of inherited somebody else's schedule. So like,
Right.
and I found out last Wednesday I was coming, and then Kim just tripped over my foot.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
weirdest part.
So-
Has it been fun for you?
Yeah, it's been real fun. It's been.
You do a lot of
it's-
those tweets, and I'm jealous, but I don't know how to read it. We do a lot of those tweets where you're like, "Hey, 83, where's everybody hanging out tonight? Come on, come
Hell
out and
yeah.
play." How does that work out for you?
Is this really the platform to discuss?
No
I
one
get a-
ever responds,
I get a-
and he's
I don't
all
know,
alone
a
for
few
eternity.
small responses. The biggest one I ever got was who's going to be at the Fortnite party because people were
Right.
excited for that thing.
Yeah, did you go to that thing?
I did.
Let's talk about that.
So it
Did
was actually
Ninja premiere his freestyle rap?
no, but presumably he
Marshmello
was
there?
Marshmello performed.
Hey, I got
so
one.
did
I had no idea. Like I just guessed
Vince
that.
I have no idea
Staples
who Marshmello
performed, and Logix.
Did it feel like an E3 party where they just had Buco Dolores to spend, and they just were.
Oh, they spent a lot of
cash.
money. I think it had to have been the most expensive. I heard it was the most expensive E3 party of
Where
all time.
Where was it?
It was at the LA Coliseum.
Of all time.
Go there. It's an open air stadium. Around one corner there is like a food court area. So there was like pizza, burgers.
For free or
all for free.
Oh.
So pizza, tacos, waffles, all kinds of cool stuff. And then you go around. There's this stage with a big like dance area.
Yeah.
And like there was all the performances happening. Then on the other side they had In-N-Out catering. And like the guys were like begging you to take their burgers. Like I was walking past, and he goes, "You," and I was like, "Me?" And he's like, "Here,"
burger.
And he threw like a one of those like to-go cartons with a burger and a thing of Lay's potato chips at me.
He's like, "Hey, Johnny Neutron."
Johnny Neutron.
Did someone call you that one time, trying to get your attention?
At a music festival a couple weeks ago. I guess I did tweet about it. I was about to say, how did you know?
Wait, that's so funny because of your hair.
Well, Jimmy Neutron.
Whatever.
I was about to say they didn't even use the right cartoon character.
He did. Hanson did not.
You're much more attractive than Jimmy.
Well, thank
Neutron.
you. So, but that's the cool thing is like that was the loud part, and then there's like all these photo ops and everything, and there was actually like a mini game that you could do, where like if you had like this passport. You had to go around and like do these different things, like take pictures, like ride the mechanical llama, and you collect stickers. And like people were going crazy over these stickers. Like every drink you got, they had like a sticker on it, like McDonald's Monopoly.
Really?
And you're putting them on this like passport. You had to like get like 4 or 5 silver, 4 or 5 gold, and then there were like rare ones. There were only like 3 of each in the entire party. And if you filled out the entire thing, you won whatever was in a giant treasure chest. And they said it was so big that they would have to ship it to you. So people were like losing their minds over this. I lost multiple friends to this. Do you know what it is? I have no idea. I'm sure we'll find out at some point. But like I was hanging out with some friends and they're like, "We're gonna go do this," and I'm like, "I'm not coming along. Sorry."
Oh my god, that's wild. So this is where your V-Bucks money are going, everybody. Straight to fund the.
But what's cool is that
party.
like so all the food was free, all the drinks were free, but you could go around the corner and it was actually like quiet because like the stage was like obviously super loud because there was DJs and rappers, but like on the other side of the Coliseum it was like super quiet and you'd actually have a conversation, which is very different from most E3 parties.
Yeah, that's wild. Speaking of parties, we had some developers show up. Oh, hello, good folks.
Hello.
So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap up this portion. We're doing something different tonight if you watched the previous nights, where we're going to stay live, and we'll be right back in a little bit. But audio listeners, developers will be coming up soon, but it'll be the same YouTube channel if you're watching this separately. But all right, for now, Kim, give a monologue saying goodbye to everybody while I get this set up.
Oh
your
God!
prepared monologue.
Can we play the Kingdom Hearts song when you walk away?
Can you sing it for us?
Oh
maybe?
no, you don't want that. You don't want that away.
You
don't. No one else is doing it. I'm not gonna do it.
Sorry.
How would I know it?
Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
what beer?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Game Informer Show. We're back, everybody. Hey, full rotation. These are no longer Game Informer editors. These are developers that kind of, sort of, maybe know each other. We have Arthur Parsons, head of design at TT Games.
Hi, yeah, that's me.
Welcome, man. You're here last
Thank
year
you.
as well. Not this apartment. But
No, this one's a good step up.
we did it all for you. We got your complaint feedback. we upgraded. We spared no expense at Game Informer just for the sake of Lego DC supervillains here.
No dubious looking bed in the corner. I'm good with all
No
that.
fingernails on the carpet. Spare no expense, I
No
promise.
blood.
All right, we have the game director for Hitman 2, correct?
Yeah.
Jacob, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's an honor to have you. A new voice.
A new voice, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a first, right? And I'm kind of totally looking forward to the survey afterwards. I have to fill out about the apartment.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
be good.
TripAdvisor, right?
Yeah.
And then the lovable oddball of the crew, if I may
Lovable.
pitch you that way. Legendary video game composer
Legendary.
Grant Kirkhope,
Hello.
responsible for soundtracks to some of the greatest games of all time. Help me out, Arthur. We got GoldenEye. We got Perfect Dark.
The none of your games I've done.
No, that's not your band. composer.
What? Who is he?
I know the rare games that you do.
All the British hits, man. You're
All the
responsible for
hits.
all of them.
That's right. Thing is, though, you get called legendary just because you're old, right? It's
Yeah.
not because you're good. It's just because you just stuck around for like 20
But
years.
it's
like-
better than being called veteran.
Yeah.
Because
I
at
mean,
least
I do get called
legendary is
I
good.
get called that sometimes as well. It's a
Right.
bit like, God, I feel like a right old git. You know?
It's good to put on the resume, though. Veteran composer. I mean, you think
Yeah.
of like all the different brands you've worked with throughout your career. Like, you just what was it? Mickey Mania not too long ago? Was it?
Mickey Mouse. Well, I did Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion.
That's
Did
what I'm
that
thinking
for
of.
Sega Australia. I did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I did that.
How's that experience
Well,
overall?
then it shut down. So kiss of death, right? Get right into the game. The studio
That went
shuts.
really well.
Yeah, that's right. Game did really badly. It shut the studio.
Were you at a crazy E3 this year, Grant? Because
Yes.
at the Ubisoft press conference, you got up on stage in front of God and Miyamoto,
I
most
know.
importantly,
Right.
you performed this Donkey Kong medley for Mario plus Rabbids
I know.
DLC.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was so nerve-wracking. Like,
Yeah?
I nearly, cacked myself. Can't think of the right words to use. But like that was because when they told me to write it originally, it's like 4 weeks ago. I said, "Well, we want you to do the trailer piece." Normally they never get the composer for the game to do the trailer piece. They always get some library piece. usually, right?
someone else.
Yeah. And I said, "All right, I'll do it." Thinking it'll be all right. And then I thought it was some kind of general Donkey Kong, something like that all the way through, like be really easy. And then Davide Soliani, the creative director, said, "No, we want it at the start a bit more like Fantasia." I was like, "So what do you mean by that?" I said, "Well, when he blinks, it should go delete, and when he jumps, you go, all that kind of quick change stuff." And I was like,
Just do a live version of Fantasia with
Well,
Donkey Kong.
well,
How hard can it be,
literally, yeah. And I
Grant?
was
Yeah,
like, all right,
come on.
I can do that. I can do that. So I did it. And it's all like 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, all the different bar changes like that, right? And then they said to me, "Oh, by the way, you have to conduct it." And I was like, "I've never conducted before."
Really?
Never.
Are you just waving a stick randomly?
No,
at
I
that
did it
point?
right. I genuinely did it right.
Do you
But,
look up a YouTube video of how to conduct an orchestra? Like, what's that
Well,
process?
I did it at college, 30 years ago? I don't know, a long time ago, right?
Well,
So-
being a veteran, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't know how to do it, but it was hard. We had technical issues. We did rehearse Friday, Saturday, twice on Sunday, twice on Monday morning before the actual thing. Couple of click tracks was going wrong. You had to be all synced because I'd written like an orchestral backing track for the speakers. The band played live, and then they had to sync to the video, all that stuff that you kind of do. And when I was writing it, just before we had to kind of finish it, I said, "Oh, we just added 44 frames to the start of the video."
Oh,
Nice.
And I was like, "Do you realise how difficult that is to move the entire thing 44 frames to the right?" And they were like, "Well, it's easy." I said, "No, it's not easy because it's in MIDI. You have to work out what 44 frames is like a second and a little bit, and
It's
like
mathematics.
it's like a bar, a 2/4 bar and 3/16. So it threw the whole thing out. So I was completely livid.
Oh,
So, but it did actually work. In the end, it really genuinely worked. But I just thought it's going to be a disaster. They're going to hate me. And when we did the rehearsal on the Sunday morning, they played the wrong track twice. I have to start by going like that, hands in the air, right? So you put your hands in there, we know to start the click track. I did that. They just played something else. I said, no, it's not it. And
just a Starling theme or
well,
something?
It was that. I think it was the marching band that came on first, their track.
Oh, okay.
But Ease Greenmore was sat right at the front of the rehearsal,
yeah.
under. I was just looking at him going, it's going great.
Awesome.
Okay, he's thinking, why have we hired this complete wanker to do this thing when it's a disaster? And I kind of went again like that, thinking it's bound to be right this time. Wrong track again. And I was like, I said, look, it's just the wrong track, guys. You're not playing our track. It's just something else, I said, we had to wait around, and then it was just so. Anyway, it went right at the end, but it was I shot myself for the entire time.
And you had the great moment too, where you get to call out DK Rap.
And they said, turn around and really go for it with the crowd. I says, I'm just a bloke. I'm not used to going for it with the crowd.
Yeah.
Come on,
With a conducting baton.
I know, yeah. It's not like you're in a metal concert going, come on. It's like, it's a DK rap.
It's not really Drake or anything, is it? It's,
I know.
When he shoots you,
I know.
it's gonna hurt.
Okay, I'm totally gonna see this. But how big was the orchestra?
It was we had six players, right? It's a band called Critical Hit. So Jason Hayes is one of the original Blizzard composers who composed all the tunes that you know from World of Warcraft. It's his kind of band, and he puts together. We had Mita Strauss, who's like a famous metal guitar playing lady. She's plays for Alice Cooper,
right.
And she's awesome.
Really?
And we had like 4 girls at the front, they're all brilliant classical players, but they're all really pretty. So, and they're all it's that kind of new thing where you get that kind of thing where you get a pretty girl who's a really good player. That's how the career progresses,
Sure.
And those girls all look great, play great. It was fantastic. Like, I was just like, this is great.
And your makeup up there looked great too. Grant.
I tried to. I didn't really make because I thought my back's to the. I thought, who cares about my face? I've got my back to the audience, so forget it. It worked in the end, but I'm not kidding you. Getting to that point was like, oh my god, it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to hate me forever.
It could have been worse. You could have been sat playing the banjo.
I know. Yeah, I'd probably preferred playing the banjo at that point.
That's true. Okay, you two are from England. Have you ever met? Has there ever been any interaction between TT Games, Traveler's Tales, and Grant Kirkhope's
I
career?
did talk to somebody there a while ago. I don't know if it was you, but I did talk to somebody. Maybe it's your audio director guy.
Was it Mike? Mike DeBell?
Did you have a sound designer there called Joe something?
Oh.
Years ago.
Oh.
And he left to go to Rocksteady and he went somewhere else?
Probably. Yeah, probably. I
Is he
can't
Scottish?
remember. There's that many. We have that
I'm going
many
to say, right,
people.
I've just got a funny feeling.
I hate to admit it, but I can't remember everyone. I'm
I
really
had some,
sorry.
I had some interaction, I think. Yeah, I just got I was probably asking for work, probably. I just didn't get any.
Right.
Yeah. How much of your career is that? Just sending emails out of the blue of like, hey, you want me to compose your next game?
Not so much. People tend to come to me, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think I get to that point where people are sort of reasonably well known now, so they kind of know that like that. Like for the Mario guy, Davide loved Banjo-Kazooie, so the minute he had the cash, he wanted to get me to do the gig, right? So
It comes with the veterans.
yeah.
And does he communicate at that point like, hey, for the boss theme in particular, I really want you to hit banjo vibes for that? Or do you just know that, well, banjo, it's a Nintendo platform, I should try and hit some more?
We did. There's a mid-boss battle theme at Mario Rabbids. It was like that's the one you wanted. That's the most banjo-esque.
Right.
But I didn't want to have too much of that because it's like I don't want to get typecast as just being that banjo guy.
Oh
I
yeah,
can do other
absolutely.
things, so he was a big banjo fan. That's why I got the gig. But Civilization guys got me because they like Kings of Amalur.
Of course.
It's different. It's. But like the things that I tend to pitch for, I never get. The things that I just don't even bother about, they're the ones that come to me. It's really weird. So.
Yeah.
And speaking as a developer, in answer to what you're saying, we generally tend to use the same people. So if you work with someone and they've done a really good job on something for you, you'll generally go back, and so it must be difficult for non-veteran composers
to kind of break into the market
and get the gig, because
Right.
we do get a lot of people say contact us, but you kind of use the same people because they get what you want, and when you're explaining how you want a boss and an action track and a slow track, and
Right.
they kind of get it. So it just makes it easier to go. We've worked with you. You did a brilliant job. We're going to do the same thing again, but like here's the brief.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like you get like John Williams as with Steven Spielberg forever, right? Because
it's a team, right? We're doing we're using the same guy again, right? It's like so he also gets it. How does the game work? What does it need from a music perspective? Also from a kind of technical perspective, the music compositions we use are layered,
Right.
and we're kind of transitioning them while the game kind of evolves into whatever happens in the game. So he is in on, okay, so I need to structure my music like this, and then he worked very closely with the audio designer in creating these tracks. But same guy. So
yeah. And I bet people overly simplify the Lego game soundtracks. Like, what are you talking about? You just loop Danny Elfman's themes over and over again and call it a day, don't you? Like,
the Lego games have got great soundtracks.
So we have so much music
Yeah.
in our games. Like Mike and the rest of the audio department, they put so much work in. Like there are serious numbers of minutes of music, and obviously for us, we us designers are like stupid people. Oh yeah, we want a licensed track, and can you just do like a disco version, and can you do like a party version, and then like a kind of an old.
And every time you say
version?
that, it's like 60 hours of work.
Yeah, and yeah, because we just think, well, hold on, yeah, we've got this license track. Doing a disco version is dead easy, and then we just walk away, and I can only imagine what we get called.
And they're crying behind. Oh my god, no, not disco again.
Yeah. And then when we go to put it in the game, it's like, you know, you're going to hold a button, and one of the characters is going to do a stupid dance, and it's like a 10 seconds sort of like sting of it, and
right.
But yeah, they
needs to
do
sound good.
Music and audio is so important.
It's insane. It's like
it's everything.
Yeah, the whole trick about going from early gray box with no sound whatsoever.
Yeah,
and okay, this is going to be an amazing experience to walk down this corridor, and there's just like a great tunnel of nothing. And this
it creates the emotion, doesn't it? The excitement, the drama, the suspense, the fear.
And but I think the tricky part, the crazy part, is this whole you have this idea about how this experience, and then the music kicks in. For me, that's always like, oh my god, it turns into something completely different. It's
absolutely on the video side. I'm a video producer, and I remember this old producer, this seasoned veteran producer a long time ago. He told me a very simple thing, and it's probably so effing stupid I shouldn't even take it as some great wisdom, but it was like early on when I was starting to edit, he's like, oh yeah, the video tells you what to think, then the music tells you what to feel.
Exactly, precisely.
Oh, of course. All right, that just clicks everything in.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, the cinematic director on Kingdoms of Amalur, Mark Stoltz, he was elected to me, we tell the story, you say how to feel,
Yeah.
But you hear a lot of times in Hollywood these days, you don't want to manipulate the audience with the music. And I think that's a stupid thing to say. I kind of feel that isn't that the whole point of the music, to manipulate the audience? To give it's sad, it's happy, it's scary, it's whatever.
Yeah, you think so?
It seems daft.
It's like as designing an experience, it's like this is a very powerful tool, and we should totally use it.
Yeah, I think.
What's the downside? I don't understand.
I don't know.
If it's not ringing true, I understand. But if the audience is on the roller coaster ride with you emotionally, that just makes it more impactful.
I know. So I hear that a lot these days. That's why sometimes you get that kind of blandy soundtrack. Like a lot of the big super movies that come out these days, they're very big and fantastic, but they're unremarkable. So
not the DC stuff, though. I mean, that stuff's great.
Of course. But you walk out, don't you? You don't remember the themes anymore.
Right.
Like I think when you walk out of Star Wars when you were a kid or whatever, or Indiana Jones or any of that, you remember it straight away, right? But these days, you maybe don't remember it when you walk out the theatre. And I kind of feel that's
the Avengers theme is stuck in here. That keeps on playing.
Because Alice Silvestri, old school composer, Back to the Future, and that's why it's like that. I think some of the other Marvel themes, you probably can't remember them because...
Oh, no, that's...
Did you see that video on YouTube where the guys walking the streets and telling people, can you sing Harry Potter? Can you sing Star Wars? And they do it. Can you sing Iron Man?
I can remember Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But...
Exactly.
Yeah. But that's got that kind of classic 80s feel. It's different, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I do think that I miss that kind of severe hook in the music these days. I don't feel like it's as prevalent as it used to be.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Solo pulled through on that? Did you see the film?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, all right. I think it's an interesting soundtrack. The more I listen to it, the more I really appreciate it.
Williams did the theme, didn't he?
He created the Han Solo theme, and then that's kind of remixed to All Hell throughout.
Is that the thing you hear in the trailer?
No, the trailer has more of like a guitar vibe.
Yeah,
but
kind of
like much more orchestral throughout the actual piece, and like some characters have like vocal tracks again, which they haven't done since like the prequels. It's an interesting soundtrack. I really like it.
When John Powell did it, right? He's a great composer.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a bit of an old school guy. I kind of feel that the old school guys still do it that way.
Yeah,
I guess being a veteran, of course.
It's a theme that's
decrepit, I still think of myself that writing themes that way, like the old way I used to do it before.
Yeah, Jacob, I want to know how your E3 was.
Yes.
Overall, have you been giving demos? Again and again?
Talking personally, are we talking game? Because personally, I think that it's been a blast. I think, to be honest, I think the last time I was here like 2004.
Wow.
So I haven't done tours of publicity or anything.
So that was like peak.
Years.
We're launching the Nintendo DS year.
Precisely. Yeah, I remember that actually. And the crazy thing back then was that we just shipped Hitman contracts. So there were no press showings of anything because like that was kind of old news.
Right.
Yeah. Like I think we released it 3 weeks before. So I was just at E3 kind of checking out things, and that was a blast. But this time around that guy over there, he kind of had me on a short leash and kind of dragged me around. So nice. I did tons of interviews and all the different live shows and all that stuff. So I think it's been quite a ride for me, and I enjoyed it. It's been a blast.
That's a long time, 2004. So it's such a long time.
What's the biggest shock? It's like you're Captain America coming out of the ice. Like what is the most shocking thing about?
Is it louder, bigger?
Well, I think. Well, I went to.
That's
What
right,
are
yeah.
these cubes?
We've got proper phones now, right?
Yeah, they have cell phones, yeah, and they that has colors on the TV. It's like no, I think. Well, I think to be honest, I was like, okay, I thought it was bigger. I think that was that was one of the takeaways I had, kind of wandering your halls. You know,
smells better as well.
It's but we
there's less booth beds right now, isn't there?
That's way different, right?
Yeah.
That's
It's
like
wild. I don't know if I saw one this
No.
entire
Nope.
show.
well, to be honest, I
That's
wouldn't
how
know
it should be,
because
right?
because
Yeah.
I was kind of inside the booth all the time.
Right, in
So
and out, yeah.
I just managed to scramble over to the Fortnite people. Hey, can I have one of these foam pickaxes for my son? That was as far as I got away from the booth, right? No, but it's been a blast. It's like a lot of people have played the game. A lot of people have commented on it. You know, we had the setup where you would register and you come in and you had the demo, and then you would come out and you did interviews, but behind closed doors. But everybody who came out kind of had a smile on their face.
How could you not? I mean, especially the finale of your demo, I think is so good, where you take out this race car driver a couple different ways, and then you do the beautiful thing of they show you the other ways that you could have done it.
Yeah,
And
precisely.
I don't know if you know it, but it makes murder very funny.
Yeah,
it just ends on a punchline, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's also what we wanted to do, right? We wanted you to kind of do this, and you know, I guess you played Hitman, and the whole thing about you can do this in so many different ways. How do you demo that? Because if you just played once, you got your own unique experience, and you don't know that you can do stuff differently. So we kind of talked a lot about, okay, so how can we show this plethora of things you can actually do and get away with, and the highlight reel at the end kind of solved that to some degree. I know some of the people who played, they actually managed to play twice. It kind of do both the snipe and the race car, right?
Okay.
And that's not just, you know, for the demo, that's how that ends, but you know, in the real version of the map, right, there's plenty of more going on with her, right?
Can you help me out with IO over the course of the last year and a half, 2 years, what that studio's been like? It feels like, from the outside perspective, it's, I don't know what's happening with IO. I love Hitman. I hope it's doing okay. All right, I guess Warner Brothers has it now. It's back in a big way.
Well, that was kind of how it was for us as well, right? It's like, I don't know what's happening with IO. It's like, okay, and then we teamed up with Warner, so it's been quite a ride.
So help me out though. So you were with Square Enix for so many years. You then separated, but retained the Hitman license.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that sounds like unlikely to me. Like when someone buys you out, like this is going to say the IP's ours.
To be honest, I can't answer that question.
You're just confused about it, or is it a legal thing?
Just
well,
grateful.
precisely right. I'm having worked with the games for so many years, right? I you know, this is my, I don't know, 5th Hitman game, maybe, and then some Kane and Lynch stuff as well, right? And we also did an engine on top of the entire thing to just make it even more hard. I think that's like that's been quite a ride, and then we ended on this where okay, now you're on your own. So it's been awesome, and people have teamed up and rallied, and it's like the whole studio has been reinvigorated. So it's like really good right
That's
now.
the interesting part to me, is thinking about you guys having worked with Hitman for so long. I'd imagine there are 1,000 different ideas in that studio, other things you want to do, but just like the changing of publishers and kind of the mad scramble, the independence, does that reinvigorate the love for your old wife here?
Well, and I wouldn't call her my old wife, because I think that, you know, throughout the years, when I started, we did Hitman Contracts, which was a really fast production, where we rehashed some of the levels from the first game into some redesigns and that kind of stuff. And then we did Blood Money, where we kind of nailed the sandbox. And then we did Absolution, where we went a bit more linear and checkpoint based. And then with the previous game, it turned into a best of both worlds from Blood Money and Absolution, kind of, you know, the awesome AI, the good controls, and then we had the fantastic level design, the fantastic fantasy. So that's where it gelled really. And then now continuing that, as you say, we have a billion ideas, right? It's like, okay, everybody has an idea for the 5 different Hitman missions they would like to try out and try to do. So it's like, and 47, he's so versatile, so we can do so many things with him and put him in so many places, right? So it's like it's gonna be awesome.
And it almost feels like I'd imagine each level is like a mini game jam.
It is,
right?
It is completely,
We're
completely.
Saying, all right, complete new environment, complete new art assets. Let's just go for it.
It's very much this. Okay, so I think I described one of the reporters today. It's like, okay, so we have the main story, and then we have the location, and we kind of add them on top of each other, and then we ask the question, what could go wrong, right? And then we ask that a lot. So that's how we go about coming up with these. And of course, Miami has a certain spectacle to it. And to be honest, it's a tall order because I think sometimes I envy other games, sci-fi and fantasy, because they don't have to be real. They don't have to make a world that is credible and believable, right?
Yeah.
We just kind of dive in at the deep end. Okay, so let's do a race, and there's gonna be people working there talking about something they just experienced at home with their wife, and then so we go to great length to make this entire thing come alive. It's like it's almost being inside a theater piece where you as an audience walk around among the actors, and they have to kind of. It's kind of a weird way of describing it.
No, it's immersive theater for sure in a lot of strange
exactly,
ways.
Yeah.
Do you think Hitman could ever work in a fantastical setting? Could we ever get medieval or
Don't go
sci-fi?
post-apocalyptic.
Actually,
evil, you say that.
Did you pick up on that? Right, everybody is doing post-up. It's like
This was the E3 of post-apocalypse.
Yeah.
You're right.
I had the.
It's just like, come on, someone be a bit more inventive,
It's like Mad Max
please.
all over again, isn't it? It's just
I
like,
feel
yeah.
like we already got over that hump like maybe 6 years ago, and now it's
Yeah.
just this big round two. Maybe in a similar way where it's like, yeah, it's streaming, and the next console being a streaming console. I feel like we went through that 6 years ago, and now this year again, it's like, nope, that's the future again. Everybody's like, all right, I guess we're back here.
Someone just make a bright future. Let's be a little bit of optimism somewhere, or even
Peak in the
Waterworld,
marketing
right?
for Rage. Yeah, just a Waterworld
Yeah,
game. Is it
there
too
we
much
go.
to ask?
Just someone do something.
I'm so
that's-
glad you're saying this because I had exactly the same. I was like, oh my god, there's a lot of bleak futures in here.
Or make post-apocalypse where everything freezes. Why does it have to just be
Ooh.
desolation?
Yeah, get that.
Yeah.
What was it 2012? Day After Tomorrow, that
Yeah.
Roland Emmerich film.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
more
go.
stuff like that.
Come on.
But Lego games are always upbeat, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
always
you're
upbeat.
fulfilling that little
Absolutely,
thing in the
but yeah, we
industry.
can't do it on our own. That's why it's great to have these guys, like
Yeah.
bright and colourful. There we go. There's Miami. Like I was just waiting for Will Smith to walk in. So it's but it's variety is what we want. Yeah. So when you're spitballing ideas for Hitman, please don't have there's 100 Agent 47s, and they kind of fly in. And then they all land, and then the last one that doesn't get sniped. Let's
Arthur-
not do
But
that.
Arthur,
I think I'm into it. I know it's stupid and cliche and it's a joke, but there's a part of you. It's like, I'd like to play that game. I think I want to see it.
Oh, there you go. Just get an Agent 47 skin in.
yeah, that's
Fortnite
for the
then,
8
right?
and for the 8 and for 9 and for.
Ooh,
the...
dude, it writes
There we go.
itself. Any temptation in IO to make that battle royale? There must have been one discussion around the water cooler or something.
Actually, I'm trying to think of if there has been a kind of a battle royale discussion. I'm not sure.
It's never come up.
I think probably every studio
Every
ever
studio
has
is
had
thinking
that
about it,
discussion
yeah.
at
Traveler's Tales?
some point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been in the office for ages. So,
Is that right?
Yeah. No, we're too busy doing other stuff.
You guys have a crazy cycle. Lego Incredibles is coming out this
Tomorrow.
Friday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Wow.
Oh, you have a release tomorrow.
Yeah. So tomorrow in the States, Lego Incredibles is out.
Not bad.
Day and date with the new movie, which by all accounts
Seems good.
is like incredible. Like
Yeah,
the
it's supposed to be
reviews.
great. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
review I've seen is
Mm.
what was it, 90-something% on Rotten
Oh my God.
Tomatoes,
That's
and
amazing. Here's
IGN
the
gave
part.
it 9.2.
And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here. There's the part that worries me. Incredibles is one of my favorite films of all time.
Yeah.
When I go to Rotten Tomatoes and go on that landing page, it's like, all right, reviews off the charts, great. But unless every review is just like, I'm weeping, I'm skeptical. It's like, I need people to be having orgasms in the theater to make this movie worthwhile.
Oh, okay.
Is that doable?
No, you
Okay.
can't. You like an animated character cannot make you orgasm. I don't.
I think the internet would very much
Oh,
make
actually.
the difference.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right. Okay, yeah.
Is
yeah.
that was it TT Fusion that made Lego Incredibles? Or is
Yes.
that-
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, like that team. I think I've been working with them for the most part of this year, spending a lot of time with them, refining it, and
Okay, help me out understanding your role. So it's head of design for overall TT games.
yeah, for all the console titles. So kind of.
So not Worlds.
Okay. That works as a console.
Okay, great.
So yeah, I'm involved in all those titles, in one way, shape, or form. Some more so than others. So yeah, I've been working closely with Pete, the game director, and the team over there. Just getting Incredibles to be like as good as it can be, because that and Monsters, the first Incredibles and Monsters, they're my two favorite Pixar movies.
Yeah.
And so like, as an ex-game director, I wanted to game direct that game, but obviously it's not my job anymore.
So you're not directing supervillains?
No. Steve Sharples, who's been my right-hand man for 10 years, is game director, and Andy Holt is also game directing. He's another great designer of mine. There's just, we have, I think I've got 42 designers across the different games. And they're all, they're all cool. Yeah,
that's
I
a lot of
got
designers.
that many designers.
How do you kind of steer all those ideas? It's like,
so I just take credit for all their hard work.
Now, what is that transition like? I mean, you say you want to get back in the trenches, but like, this is a recent thing where you're head of design overall. Does that just mean you can't get in the weeds as
since
much?
last November, I think.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. And then a little bit before that. Yeah, I miss it. It's like I don't have a posh office. I sit on the floor with everyone else.
Yeah.
Not literally on the floor. We kind of got desks.
Are you getting down there and saying, hey, what about this puzzle? What about this puzzle?
Yeah.
Or does it just mean more emails? What does it mean to be head of design?
It means I get the blame when things go wrong. No, it means that I can sit there and we can go in a meeting and just really just have fun. I can just concentrate on looking at the games as games.
Yeah.
And everyone else can
worry
do their
about how
jobs
to
worry
execute.
about actually making it.
Do you guys have good internal terminology at TT Games overall for describing your approach to puzzles? Because I remember on the Darksiders 2 cover story trip with Game Informer, one of the producers there had something to say, and I don't know if it's common in the industry, but he had what he called nuzzles, which was not a puzzle, but basically a puzzle. Just a series of little obstacles that are kind of sort of puzzles, but they're so light, they're not really puzzles. We'll call them nuzzles. Do you guys have the equivalent there? Because it seems like a lot of those...
do now. I like that. that's really cool.
But that's what the Lego games are. It's a series of... You're not going to lose sleep over these puzzles, but it's just a series of little obstacles in the way.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a conversation during dinner.
No, we just take a different approach to things. We have our own internal terminology for everything, and we'd like to try and make sure we do the best we can with everything. But no, we don't have any fancy names. But I think that's the first thing on Monday. I'm going to go in and we're going to invent some names for like a layered puzzle and just a first one shot and some basic props. We're going to make some names up.
Do you ever have champions internally of people being like, let's just make this a real stinker of a puzzle. Let's stump all these Lego fans. They'll get to this one, and this is going to be...
This is the end.
Yeah, this is just like the witness in this one chapter of a Lego game.
Oh, we have that. And there are times when we sit there in a review meeting, and it's like, just remember, guys, this could be someone's first ever video game, right?
Yeah.
Just remember, someone might not actually have 20 years of video game practice to the name. Let's try and just pull that back a little bit, make it accessible.
Right.
And then 6 iterations later, you're there.
Yeah. And then sometimes at the same time, it's like, come on, 6-7-year-old kids have got like more knowledge than this. Let's just like up it. The proof of the pudding is when you get the kids in. So we do that. We get kids in, and we all stand there, kind of like with clipboards, looking all officious, while they're playing, and it's like, he's not laughing. Interrogate him, and it's like, okay, this one's stuck. Interrogate this one, and just find out what they're.
Have that thing changed over time? Going back to the early Lego Star Wars stuff and all that stuff. Have the kids changed? In terms of puzzle solving,
games. Yeah, they I think they've got a lot better at games. Yeah, because what was it? 2005 was Lego Star Wars, so that's 13 years ish. Kids are much better at games now.
Do you think it's just an oversimplification to say Minecraft changed a lot of things for advancing younger gamers and how much we can expect of them?
I wouldn't say it was Minecraft. I think it's more like this constant presence of device that is capable of gaming. I think that's the factor that changes this.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that like my son's 15 right now. I think back to when he started playing games. He's on his DS. That's his kind of first thing he used to got. Like I guess when you're a parent, you're probably gonna go the DS route for your kid first thing, right? 'Cause it's safe and all that. I think they do get really. Everyone does that. So kids are getting far more astute at being better at games younger, I think. And I think you do think that they can't work it, but you leave them to it and they will suss it out. They will suss out what to do, and they'll be on the PC before you know it, and then and they're off. I think that it's a surprise really how. When I think back to when I was a kid, there wasn't any video games because I'm so bloody old, right? So what I mean. It's definitely different. I think kids are more used to that having screens from the birth, right?
Yeah.
Literally within a couple of years, because parents are going. Give them that and they'll be quiet for 10 minutes. You can get a bit of peace and quiet. We bought our son a DS because he woke up at 6:30 in the morning every day.
Yeah.
So I thought, in the weekends, play with this, Max.
Yeah.
Let your parents sleep in a bit, which has worked great, but now he's addicted to games.
No, but actually, I saw this. There was this stand at the West Hall entrance where there was a tiny drawing of a girl with a tablet, and then just say it's not a phase. It's like gaming doesn't stop.
I think quite a lot of kids now play a game while watching a YouTube video of someone playing a game at the same time.
I know that.
I'm not quite sure how they get their eyes to kind of like focus, but I know internally in my family, the kids do that.
Yeah,
they're watching and playing at the same time.
My daughter watches Doctor Who and plays a game at the same time.
Well, that's
She's
impressive.
12, right? Well, no, yeah, but it's a bit like.
No, it's impressive that like a 12-year-old likes Doctor Who so much. That's kudos.
Excellent. She loves Doctor Who.
More children should like Doctor Who.
Absolutely. Yes, that should be a rule, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Well, I think that the weird thing is when sometimes I'm playing Overwatch with my son, and then he's not joining the group. It's like well, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then we're on Discord, we're in kind of adjacent rooms, and he's not replying. It's like, yeah, but what's going on? You kind of have to yell, and then it's like, then he's on YouTube. So while we're waiting for the next round, then he's on YouTube. Like, come on, what's going on here? I thought we were playing a game, and all of a sudden he just zones out. And,
But I used to think, like, when you're a kid, like, you used to get on your bike and go to your friend's house and go out and play something, right? Now my son sits in his bedroom and all his friends are on Discord and they're all playing Fortnite or whatever it happens to be. That's that because they can get everyone together every time. Like when you might have got on your bike to get your friends, back in the day, he couldn't come out and play, but he could. But now it's like everyone's on Discord. It's changed. It's complete. My son, I bought a bike. He's been on it. He's been on it twice probably in like 5 years.
It's probably seized up somewhere in the garage.
It's so different, isn't it? It really has changed so much.
Well, including like Lego DC Supervillains here, it has a selfie mode. And rope in those kids, trying to get them into this whole thing again.
Exactly.
You gotta do it.
Yeah, you gotta do that. But that also involves what you do with the games. Like the whole custom character creator that we've put in for Supervillains is it's about customization because it comes down to us having watched kids, and I know internally my kids when they play say Rocket League, they spend more time customizing their cars than they do in the match. Yeah. It's like a 5-minute match, but they spent 15 minutes customizing the car. And it's like, oh, what do you think of this trail? And it's like, I'll be honest, I don't care. Can we play the game? Because, I'm ticking clock, got to walk the dogs. You guys got homework. It's like, but no, and that's like kids now really, really want that kind of engagement. Fortnite's a great example. I got roped into play it because I was more playing PUBG, and I was sat there watching Lil play it, and so she's playing, and I was just sat there sort of going, you're running away from someone, like they're shooting at you, but you've turned your back and run. You've got no materials to build, and you're running. It's like when you play a shooter, you run backwards so you can still see and you can protect yourself. All right, if you're so good, Dad, you have a go. I was like, oh, right, okay. I haven't played this. Okay, let's try this. And then I played it. I did all right. I came 12th. I had my kill stolen, but Dad, you did really well to almost get it. It was like, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna play this. You got to buy the battle pass. It's like, why? You can't go in a noob skin. I can't go in a what? And it's like, you can't go in a noob skin. It's
and then you ask, okay, so what's the difference? Does it make me better? And then the answer is like, no, it's just how you look.
There's no difference.
Precisely.
But they've got a better glider and they've got a better this and that's exactly what this generation is. They want engagement, and the only way they can engage is by having cool stuff to do. And I get that. It's the personalization. It's the phone covers. It's like stickers on the MacBooks.
It just reminds me of my childhood, right? The whole what clothes are you wearing at school? And this is just isn't it just the same?
It's self-expression. I think it's great.
Yeah,
it is that self-expression. But I dread to think what cars are going to be like in 10 years' time.
Interesting. Effective customization in games on actual physical cars.
Yeah, it's going to be like smart cars with the clip-on, clip-off. Because you can do that with the smart cars. But you're going to end up with a Tesla that's kind of got you press that button and then that side goes pearlescent and then this bit does. Because Elon Musk will do it because that guy's just like he's an alien that's been sent back to like teach us future tech. The guy's a genius.
Jacob, did you notice a lot of that with the last Hitman of people just? I mean, I'm trying to figure out. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around the just crazy momentum around that last game for you guys.
Yeah.
Was it night and day compared to previous releases? And how much of that do you think was Twitch and just sharing online?
Well, I think Hitman is very well suited kind of for self-expression because you can do couch co-op Hitman with a friend. and it's very well suited. Kind of, it's good entertainment to watch people. We just did a live stream today from the 3 Coliseum, where we kind of did the same with, we had Sven in the back playing, and then me on the stage with Christian, and we were kind of just, talking as if we were playing Hitman alongside Sven about the whole thing. And I think the game does a really good job. It's like you kind of make it your own, right? So it's exactly the same. How do you perform your assassination? It's kind of sounds bizarre.
So it allows people to be egomaniacs as they
no,
play
but
the game
it's like making it my own experience, right? So whenever 2 Hitman fans meet and they played the same mission, they always have crazy different stories to tell. Oh, I did this and this and this, and I did that and that and that. And I think that's what the game can do so well, that it gives you your own kind of experience. And I think that makes it unique in a way, right? A lot of games will give you the same experience, and they're not bad games, but if you could play a game and I could play the same game, and we would get the same, okay, then the bus rams through the house, and this is where the boat sinks and all that stuff, right? But we would get the same experience, and I I think a lot of people are totally fine with that. But there's something about this where it just becomes my experience. I think that's a super powerful thing.
Do you think that's why the last Hitman game hit a new threshold, or how much of it do you think is just the amount of freedom and player agency you put in that game compared to? Do you think the episodic structure was crucial? Or how do you guys look in retrospect on the episodic release of that thing?
Teaching players. I built the tutorial of the previous game, and teaching players how to play Hitman. That's a tall order, because the game can do so many things. So kind of we deducted. Okay, so what is the least amount of tools you need to perform a somewhat successful hit? And then we kind of began with that, and then at some point we're sitting discussing what to do about the whole flow, and then we kind of came up with, hey, let's do it again. Let's play the mission once more, but this time ask you to do it differently, and then tweak it a bit to give you some more tools, and then I at the point it felt kind of cheeky to just ask people to do it again, because like, okay, I just played it. So you want to, but the whole training facility kind of metaphor we kind of kept the entire thing in, kind of allowed for that. Whereas if you played, hey, go raid the house, and then you just killed all the bad guys, and now do it again. It's like, but I just killed them. But this was a simulated thing, so it kind of warranted that, okay, it's actually okay that we can ask players to do this once more. And I think it actually worked very well, because then you got into the whole thing that okay, a Hitman level is not to be kind of taken in once. It can totally stand up for,
it's a world to live in for a little bit.
Yeah, and we've seen people play the thing for some players kind of finish the game in 15-20 hours. That's fine. Awesome, they had a good time, move on, next game. And then we had a lot that, like, okay, 50 to 100 hours, and then we had, there were even some that surpassed thousands of hours, right? Wow. Which is like, wow, thank you.
That's like me with Advance Wars.
That's your game, your go-to.
Yeah, like E3 2018, where was Advance Wars?
And then you call
for
it Switch Wars. That's a good name.
What
give me the same
is there Advance Wars for Switch?
No, there's not. Well, they're releasing, so of course, smaller people like Chucklefish, they're publishing a game. I think they're actually developing the game. Oh my gosh, I wish I could remember the name of it. But it's very much Advance Wars with more of like a fantasy vibe.
I don't want that. I want Advance Wars.
You want like Nintendo produced intelligent systems, Advance Wars.
Just like people ask for like a Metroid, and a Mario, and whatever it may be. I want Advance Wars.
Here's the problem. Intelligent systems, they're making these Fire Emblem games. Some people enjoyed them. Plenty of people have enjoyed them.
Nope.
But they're just cranking those things out. Just give us one Advance Wars. I don't want any more
just
codename Steams. None of that stuff.
Take a breath. Give me an Advance Wars, and then you go back to it. It's fine.
I like D2 Games saying, hey, just take a breath on a franchise for a while. You guys have just been sprinting for 30 years on Lego games. God. So, your new position, is it bizarre? Here's what I want to understand, and maybe it's too abstract and weird of a concept, but like, you were going from Marvel to DC, back and forth over like the last 5 years, more than anybody in the world in terms of like your day-to-day job. It's crazy, that position. Now, being head of overall design, are you just a little bit Marvel, a little bit DC, a little bit Star Wars, a little bit Incredibles, just a little bit everything at once? Or do you still feel like meeting to meeting, you have to get in a new mindset based on the IP.
No, the great thing is, like the game directors I've got, they're the ones with the knowledge. So I just take them into a meeting with me. Because no one can hold that and retain that much knowledge.
Just like tiny details from DC lore type of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, okay.
It's we can all hold a certain amount. I've done. This is the 4th DC game I've been involved with, and I've done 3 Marvel games. So that's 7. I've got that knowledge in my head. Yeah. But when it comes to say something like Incredibles, what was it? 14 years ago was the first movie. I kind of remember what happened. But it's down to like Pete as the game director to have that knowledge, because he'll have rewatched that movie like 10, 15, 20 times. And then he's the one that saw Incredibles 2, like all the bits and pieces before it's out, so that he's got all that knowledge.
So he didn't get it spoiled?
I didn't.
All right.
You did.
He
really?
did.
He did, yeah.
So yeah.
Is that possible for you not to get spoiled?
Yeah,
in
that's
meetings,
like
it doesn't just casually
exactly
come up?
all the Avengers and DC and
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. But even though you've read something or seen something, or like I'll dial it all the way back because it's a bit of a Pixar reference to when we did Finding Nemo. So we flew out to Pixar, and
God, this is like pre-Lego Traveler's Tales, right?
Oh yeah, a long time ago.
Okay, yeah.
So we got flown out to Pixar, went into like a theater. The director Andrew Stanton, I think it was, and there's all these clay maquettes of Nemo and Dory and Marley and everyone, and we sat down to watch a hand-drawn animatic.
Yeah.
Fully voiced, and it was like 96 minutes long, but it was all hand-drawn. Like it was like a flick book.
Yeah.
And that didn't spoil that movie. So, and then we worked on the game, we did the design, all the rest of it. When I went to the cinema to watch it, I kind of knew what was happening, but it was still exciting. When we
because of the soundtrack,
right?
Yeah, Fantastic Beasts is the same. Yeah, it's like
interesting.
Saw all of that behind the scenes. Even went to like a few days down on the set and stuff. And then when you see the movie, because there's things that you don't know. Like Fantastic Beasts is a great example, because the big smoke monster kind of Obscurio, at the end. Well, it was written in a script, and it was kind of like referred to, but there was no visualization of it. Yeah. So you don't see that. You don't see some of the big explosion and the VFX and all the rest of it. So you can still enjoy all that stuff.
Yeah.
So do your guys read all the comics to get all the kind of all the lore? Do they do that whole thing?
Yeah. So on the previous game to this one, we kind of generally try to give people a reading list, because you've got a team of 150, 200 people. They're not all going to like what they're working. They're not all going to be DC fans, or Marvel fans, or Harry Potter, or whatever. So we kind of write them a read and watch list, and it'll be these comics, like recommended reading. It's like going to university or high school. Recommended reading, recommended watching.
That'll be exam
and then
on Thursday.
Advanced reading, advanced watching.
Give me examples for like supervillains. Is like number 1, probably see Suicide Squad. Everybody. And then, like, moving on, like, what's like the good deep cuts? So you recommend?
It's like Forever Evil, because that comic series has got the Crime Syndicate in,
okay,
who we've got in the game. And then in terms of like movie watching, it's like like original Batman, Tim Burton's Batman, because
the only Batman, I'm afraid. Those first two.
First 1.5.
And Danny Elfman as well. The score.
Yeah, and so it's like here's a read, here's a watch, and things like Flash TV series, like a couple of episodes, or Legends of Tomorrow, an episode, and it's really just like to get behind who these characters are, who these like stories are, and things
so
like
much
that.
fun. I don't know whose job it is.
Like straight after Infinity War, I'm on Wikipedia finding out all about Captain Marvel and all that stuff.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, and you go, because I read the comics as a kid, but I didn't get that far, so you kind of read the lore behind it, and you see that she's got some kind of weird scroll, whatever it is going on, and Marvel gave her the powers, and I'm kind of with it now, and all that stuff,
No, work with us.
I'm with it.
I'm a total sucker for the whole Marvel MCU, all world building stuff, how everything kind of connects. And I think when you do these Lego things, and you work with Marvel and DC, are you then connecting to the MCU, or is it kind of completely separate, or are there kind of actual connections?
They're canonical, like someone's playing with these Legos and these events.
Yeah, but it's more.
That would be amazing. It's just like,
well, there were Legos in Age of Ultron. Technically, Thor stepped on them, right?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
right.
But yeah, no, we kind of like to to think that we're authentic as we can be to everything. So yeah, like Ant-Man and the Wasp is out on the 7th of July, I think. The Lego Marvel Super Heroes 2's got some. I think the last pack of the season pass comes out that day, which has some nods to where that movie goes. But not to the point where it spoils anything. It's just
but
it's got those characters and that lore,
precisely right,
and basically a sprinkling of what that magic's about, and that's kind of what we do. It has to be authentic. Everything.
But sometimes you're going to get a difference between the comics and the movies, right?
Yeah, all the time.
So at that point, what do? Do you go with the movie side, or do you stick to the comic side?
Comics. Because where did the movies come from? The comics.
Right. So if the movie's got not strict to the comics, you'll forget that and just go with the comic. That's how it should really be.
Unless it's like something where we are doing a movie. Like a movie game, it's the game of the movie.
Right.
But if it's something like Supervillains is the original story we wrote in tandem with DC.
Right.
And it's inspired by all the TV shows, loads of movies, loads of comics, a little bit of pop culture and some other stuff. But that, if we're ever in doubt, you just dial back to so if it's an obscure character that's in the game, we go back to like the original version.
Right.
Like the creator made this version with these powers and this stuff. He might have been reborn or it might have been reinvented, but this is the one that we should use because that's that came out of that guy's imagination, the very first guy that came up with that. So yeah, I'll always, the team will always go back to the comics. But I'm lucky; I've got a couple of guys on the team that are like
into it,
like another level.
They know everything, right?
Yeah. And it's like they know so much stuff. Where it's just like I can just before we do like a live panel or something, I can just be like, can I just quickly check this for me? And what issue is this? And it's better than Google because Google can be wrong. Whereas like people like Joe, they're never wrong. It's just like, and he'll send back this detailed report, and it's like, brilliant, thank you very much. It's just like a mind of information. I just need a permanent connection, some cybernetic thing. I'll ask Elon Musk.
I've really enjoyed like going into like that stuff and finding out straight from Infinity War. Like it's made me go. It's really good to go into it and go, oh my god, who'd have thought that they invented that so long ago and it's been changed and all that stuff. I really found that interesting. I really enjoyed reading up about it, and it's been really good. I really liked it.
Well, my 18-year-old stepson Sam, right? So he went and watched Infinity War, and I hadn't seen it. He came in from the cinema and he knows that I'm a bit of a nerd. And he goes, "Oh my god, we have to talk." And I was like, what do you mean? Because I gradually introduced him to the wider Marvel movies because he liked X-Men, but he hadn't really got into all the others like Thor and everything else. So anyway, I got him into them. He'd watched some, and before he went to see Infinity War, he said, what do I need to watch to be up to date? So this one,
long journey.
18 movies.
You can avoid these couple, but these are kind of essentials.
Right.
And he was like, we have to talk. I was like, oh, right, where are we going?
Okay,
and then,
off to the cinema.
who's this character? What's this? Why are they doing that? Who does that? This character, this has happened and that. And I was like, Sam, I haven't seen the movie. I kind of feel like I have now.
Right.
But but it's great that you get that energy about wanting to know about other stuff.
After Infinity War, I think my son talked to him most he'd ever talked to me in his life. Like, he's like, I just like, I had a massive conversation about and this and this and this, and I think it's that, it could be this, and I just like, oh my god, you never talk to me. What's happened? It's I think that movie's been a real. It's made everyone talk, isn't it? Because everyone thought, it's supposed to be like a two-parter, right? Wasn't it?
It is.
I know. But and then it was like, oh no, it's gonna be a single. But I was like, when it left on the cliffhanger, we're all like, hang on a minute. I think they did that so fantastically well.
But
I always get, I don't know about you, I always get asked to explain the post credits as well.
That's right.
What does this mean?
I was like,
I just after seeing it, I left the cinema and I stopped to Google what's going on.
That's what I
What's that logo? Everybody in the theater is just automatically like, what is happening? Can some comic book nerd around me explain what I'm looking at?
Exactly.
But I think going to the cinema and watching a Marvel movie, I think it's hilarious that some people are in the know and some are not, and those who are not, they just leave, and everybody else is just looking at 6 minutes of end credits of thousands of amazing people who've done CGI and acting and stunts and whatnot.
So
And then the payoff hits. I think it's
I remember
awesome.
I watched ET about a month ago, and the credits just kind of went, that was it.
Yeah.
And then your
Five
was like,
super
that was like 3 hours. That was like,
Steven Spielberg, Drew Barrymore, Elliot. That's it.
That's it. It's literally that's it, right? And you watch the Marvel, like Infinity War. It's just like My God, when's it going to finish?
There was so many visual artists.
It's
but it's the same
amazing.
for any of the movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Justice
incredible.
League was exactly the same.
Incredible.
Just so many people because they're just such big productions these
Oh, so
days.
you can't imagine. Can you?
Speaking of so many people, it's something crazy. I was playing the demo for your game there, and just thinking about like if you rounded up every voice talent that ever was a part of a Lego game at some point. That's just the entire industry at this point. Like it is like a weird funnel where every talent in the industry at some point is going to be involved in a Lego game.
It could actually be that they're all in DC Supervillains.
Oh, is that right?
There are. I can't remember the exact number. I've got a feeling it's like 96.
Wow.
Actors.
Something like that. Yeah. It's just in terms of like the heavily voiced characters. And yeah, it's like kind of top tier talent. It was like it's so exciting.
Wow.
Grant, what do you think about voice actors?
You know, like some of the games that I've done, I've not had not an awful lot of voice talent, but we did that Kings of Amalur had a lot of voices.
Oh, right.
I remember I was dying to get Claudia Black, so I think she's fantastic. I loved her in Farscape. Right? We couldn't afford her, so we got a Claudia Black lookalike. Yeah, sound alike, sorry. You know, so I kind of missed out on that one really. But she did the trailers for the game, but she didn't actually do the in-game stuff. So I was a bit let down by that. I've never really been in a game where there's been really somebody super famous that you know, because I kind of think, I was already director. I thought fantastic. I'd be able to go and hang out with Claudia's doing this voiceover, but she never did it. So.
But like, where are you guys really king? Were the original voice actors over there?
Oh no, but then it was just like grunts, wasn't it? Like it's just me going because I did it because nobody else could be asked to do it. So
except for Conkers, right?
Right. That was the first.
It's one of my top 10 games of all time, by the way. That
really?
game. It's
Conker's Bad Fur Day?
Yeah. Because of the humor.
Jacob
in it.
isn't buying it, by the way.
And
Well, I know.
because of the regionalized accents.
Yes, that was Chris who did them all, right? The design guy, he did all the voices for that.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a great voice like that.
Oh,
that's the first time they could get.
Did he even sing the Pooh Monster?
No, that was another guy. It's Chris Marlowe, the programmer.
Okay.
But like, think about that game. It's the first time we got the MP3 encoder. They got the license for it, so we could crunch crunch it down. We couldn't have the space otherwise. We did try that game Dream before we went to Banjo. We did a full voice of that, but we just couldn't fit it in, on a cartridge, not the space. But like that, because we got the MP3 encoder thing, and they did some kind of backdoor thing where because it came with something, we could use it in the game. So it's some kind of didn't actually end up paying for it or some weird thing like that because you had to pay license fees to whatever they're called, But there was some
license fees.
There was some
like
weird,
the Wild West.
There was some weird thing where because they had some bit of software, they could somehow have the MP3 encoder and it got into the game and it worked. But that Chris did an awful lot of those voices, and Chris and Robin, the guy who did the music, they were massive movie buffs, so they fitted every little pastiche in they possibly could, like the Dracula bit and all that, So it was fantastic.
I love that game. And then obviously when it got an Xbox remastered, didn't it?
Yeah.
And I bought it again, and I played it again, and I still loved it again. And so it's like, now I'm ready for it again. Don't change. I don't even want it high def.
Just keep it on the low level.
I just want it.
Yeah.
Is that weird? A lot of people come up to you, Grant, like walking around the show floor, even at E3, and saying like, "When are you going to make a new Perfect Dark? Come on, Grant Kirkhope."
It's mostly when you're going to see Banjo 3. That's what you mostly get, right?
That's the number one request.
That's like
no, I want Grabbed by the Ghoulies too. So
there's the man that bought Grabbed by the Ghoulies. You're the only one, right?
You know what? I don't care what anyone says about that game, right? Because I hate to say it, I didn't enjoy Banjo as much. However,
I think Grabbed by the Ghoulies too, so that's all right.
Grabbed by the Ghoulies, I really actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Like you say, I'm probably one of the few, but I really enjoyed it.
I like the I don't know why qualifier.
Yeah,
That's
I like doing that game. It's good fun. Like I kind of think when you do a haunted house game, it's just fun, right? It's fun because you get to all the creepy music and all the silly sound effects and and like Rare in those days, you got the whole game, right? The sound guy like me did the music and the sound effects. You did the whole lot, right? So I think it was, to do all the voices. It was great fun. I like that game. I thought it had a good little pop to it too.
But Luigi's Mansion as well.
Yeah.
At the right. So here's the thing, right? At the time when that game first came out, this is the first one. People didn't like it.
Right.
Yeah. I loved it. I adored it. Maybe there's something about Ghosts. And then Luigi's Mansion 2 comes, right? I'm disappointed because it's on a handheld. And everyone else will go, "Oh, that game was so good." It's like, you all hated it. You all
Last time you
hated
hated
it.
it.
I had to defend that crap for 6 years.
Yeah. And now you're all like, "Yo, we love that game." No, you didn't. None of you liked it.
The smallest little detail in that first Luigi's Mansion, and they do it in Dark Moon as well. I just love it so much when Luigi, because he's so nervous, tries to distract himself by humming along with the main theme, It's such a good little touch that just immediately connects you to that stupid character.
No, I think so. I think they've done it great like that.
You're talking about humming along. I just associated to this Saints Row 4 where the two characters are in the car singing along to a Paula Abdul song.
Right. It's always fun. More singing
Yeah,
in games.
more
damn it.
singing
This is
in
what
games,
people
yes.
like. Yeah.
Let's get some singing.
In the Donkey Kong DLC, like for the rabbits, that's just come out. There's in the first game they had that thing where the background kind of interacted with the music, so it pumped the things that go along. But they made it better this time. They kind of, if there's birds sat there, they'll hum the tune or sing the tune as if it's playing. I think that attention to detail makes such a difference. It's not people might stand up for 5 seconds and watch it, but it makes such a difference, like little detail things like that. It's fantastic like that.
Like in The Incredibles, when Bob Barr's sneaking in, he's eating the cake, he hums the Incredibles theme as he's walking into the house.
It takes a little bit of time to do it, but it makes such a difference. People really go, that's such a great little bit, and they remember it forever,
Yeah. Grant Kirkhope, how many E3s have you been to? What was like the first E3 you went to?
It was for Banjo-Kazooie, I think. Like
Really?
1990-something, 7.
Do you have a favorite memory, favorite geek out moment?
As I was driving here tonight, I thought you might ask me that question, and I do have one memory, but it's like when we did the banjo thing, right? It was 1997, whatever it was, and we got called. We were staying at the Biltmore like yours doing it, right? And we got called to the basement rooms with Howard Lincoln. You know, Howard Lincoln was Mr. Big, right? Nintendo.
How he introduced himself.
And everybody knew he was very quiet spoken, but very serious. If he just walked in and said, "My name's Howard Lincoln. I'm so at Nintendo. We have $5 billion in the bank and no debts." And he sat down, and we were like, "Oh, that doesn't sound very good." And he just sort of said, "Now, guys, just to get this clear to you, we've committed this $20 million to this for banjo advertising," and he just went through the figures. It was like ginormous. Just so you know, if you do miss Christmas, that'll be very bad. And we all knew there wasn't a chance we were going to make Christmas like. And we all, the colours just draining from your face, going, "Shit, he's going to murder us right now." So we all went, "Howard, no problem, mate. We're going to be out for Christmas. You just no worries at all." Went back to the UK, told Tim and Chris Stamper, "We're never going to make Christmas. It's never going to happen." But luckily, they were making that, I guess, Pro-Am Racing. They had a funny name for it. And Joel Hogbug, who's like the American bit of Rare, communicated to Nintendo that Banjo wasn't going to make it, but we have got a racing game, and then a kart racer. And Nintendo said, "Look, stick the Kongs in it. We'll have that." And that could be Diddy Kong Racing. Of
course.
Stick the Kongs in it. We'll have that instead. So we were saved, from being killed by Howard Lincoln. But I never forget the way he sat there, and he's very emotionless and like. But just put the fear of God into you. You just shat yourself. What
is that? How can a business guy do it? Can anybody pull it off? Was he born that way, or did he just have when he was 25, he looked in the mirror and said, "If I just play it cool and talk about how much money we've got in the bank, I can perfect this craft."
I just read that Game Over book, right? The one that that book about how Nintendo started. It went to that story out how they got the Donkey Kong thing.
I need to read that.
Yeah, that's such a good. So many great stories in that book. Yeah. But that thing where the movie company were going to sue Nintendo for Donkey Kong because King Kong was there,
right?
And they went, and I think they went for a final meal with the movie company. And the movie company thought, I can't remember when it was it was to agree that they couldn't possibly use the name Donkey Kong because Kong was theirs, like that. And they had the whole meal, all mates and fantastic, and everyone was super happy. But Nintendo had been researching, they found out that Kong was in the public domain and they couldn't copyright it, and so. Literally, just as the lift doors are closing, Howard Lincoln sort of said, "And by the way, we're keeping Donkey Kong." Wow, that was it. Went to the last, did all the meal. Everyone was super happy. Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
That's a great story, but it's more elaborate than that. But he was that man who just did that thing where him and Mr. Arakawa literally went store to store selling the NES. That's store to store to break America. It was an amazing story.
Arthur, who's the most impressive businessman in the industry?
Oh my God, unbelievable!
Is there
the
one
most
that stands
impressive
out?
businessman I've ever met.
The most important, where you said this person's smart, they're getting stuff done in the industry. Is there one figure above all
my
else?
boss, Tom Stone.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think because if you think he was the guy that was like prior to TT, he was like EA and he was like involved in the early days of FIFA, but like he was the guy that just went, "Wouldn't it be great if we put Star Wars with Lego?" And it's like,
you're crazy, right? Yeah.
Good luck.
Like number one toy.
Yeah.
Number one toy.
No, but
number one movie franchise.
No, but actually, I think that on Netflix there's this the toys that made us t-shirts. They have an episode about Lego that I had to watch because it's Danish, and I have friends working at Lego, and also former co-workers of IO is at Lego. We talked about that earlier. And I think that whole Lego story it's really incredible how they kind of recouped after almost stopping entirely, right?
From licenses alone, or
no, the Lego was literally about to kind of just on the brink of ruin, right?
Just like Marvel.
Yeah.
And then they managed to kind of you go watch it. It's a good story, and it's a really amazing what they did. And I think it's like I have so many fond memories of Legos, and as a kid, right? It's insane.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of drawing on those experiences when doing the games that we do. But
Lego Hitman, so close. Look, you're killing cops in both
games. This could be it. Lego Conquer, come on.
Lego Conquer is more.
Mighty Pooh as Lego would be fantastic.
No, but you should check it out. It's a great story, and I think that they are awesome, and they are super good at what they're doing, and
so they had the foresight to say yes, we can connect it to Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of your boss.
Yeah, it was kind of Tom's idea, but he couldn't get anyone to take it.
What?
Like in terms of the game, no one would touch it because they were like, "I'm not going to buy that."
Yeah, you're crazy, right? Yeah.
And who says no to brands like that?
And in the end, obviously, it came out and it was a big success and it's been great. So that's a clever cookie. And he pays my wages.
Yeah. What more can you ask for?
No, but I think that the original Lego Star Wars game was a really, really, really solid game, right? It's like brilliant, right?
Yeah, so my son played that to death.
But there have been other kind of tie-ins and franchises where I think, okay, why play it? But the Lego games really kind of just nailed it.
It's just something different enough, and I think it was a nostalgia. Like I was in high school, but still, all my friends basically were playing on modded Xboxes. But it's like, hey, you gotta play this Star Wars game, and it's great.
Yeah, I'm sure my son got the first level on some kind of demo disc or something. But did it come out?
Negotiations, I think it did.
He got something from somewhere. And he just thought, let's try it. And he just
probably an official PlayStation mag.
It was something weird like that. But he just
in the days when you had real magazines and demo discs.
Yeah,
but that's the one half still around with Game Informer. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. But I used to love the bootstrap demos.
Because you get a little taste, don't you?
Yeah,
and he just played it. He just got sold.
I remember that's how I got Lemmings on my Amiga.
Right.
Oh my god.
I remember playing that. Bloody
yeah.
Oh,
I remember testing that. not on the Amiga. It was a later version, but yeah.
Really?
Before I was at TT, I was a tester at Signotis. So testing like Destruction Derby and Wipeout. And,
God, those are the days, right?
And then some games that were like probably not so great, like Cyberdeck and
Cyberdeck. I remember.
It had like a Vans sponsorship deal and stuff.
Okay.
And all the dev team were walking around in Vans t-shirts and Vans, while all us testers were just like sitting there,
playing the same level over and over
and going,
over.
Guys, this is really bad.
Yeah.
And then it's like, shut up, you don't know nothing. It's like I know a good game, and this is not a good game. It's like so. Yeah.
I remember Ray used to always read that's where the designers came from the tester field. They'd sort out all the testing guys, and there'd be ones that would obviously shine.
Yeah.
And those are the guys got picked off to be designers.
Yeah.
Always, because they played so many games and they knew so much stuff. Yeah. But you'd get guys and they were really clever that would get it.
Like, every puzzle structure in the world, just memorized. You can carry it forward for the
rest
of the life.
It's the old 1-2,
1-2.
Yeah, because it used to be funny, just like, God, this guy's, he's pointing stuff out, and it's like, it's pretty obvious. This is good. This is not good. It's like, how is that difficult? How can you all not see this? So
I remember working with QA on one of the first games where I wanted to talk to the tester who filed the bug. And then another colleague said, "Don't talk to the testers because then they're just gonna come up with ideas." I was like, "What?
Game, you idiot!"
Yes, we'll have to do more work. Don't do that.
Isn't that a good thing?
That's tough. Any other stories from E3 this year you guys want to share? Anything you want to get off your chest about impressions of the show? Anything like that? Favorite interactions with anybody?
I didn't see enough.
Yeah,
I have so much live feeds and YouTube stuff I need to go through the next week, right?
I watched loads of stuff.
Did you?
Yeah, and some of the stuff where everyone's like going into meltdown about how amazing it is.
Cyberpunk?
No, I'm on like Death Stranding.
Oh yeah,
it's like it's post-apocalyptic pizza delivery. I'm sure the final game will be amazing, but I'm watching the trailer going, this, you don't have Deliveroo in America, I don't think. It's like the guys that go on. They got bikes and they food in the.
Yeah, we got cars in America. Yeah, we don't know anything about bikes.
Okay, you've got Uber Eats, right? So it's people that deliver food. So yeah, in England we've got Deliveroo. They have like a insulated bag.
Deliveroo.
Like a box on the back. And there are other delivery services that are available.
But
and they ride around on push bikes.
All right.
With food in the back that comes from your local restaurant.
Yeah, but imagine if a ghost was chasing him.
Am I the only one?
No, that's what it is. It's like this is like virtual post-apocalyptic.
No, but I was like, okay, am I the only one that picked on the whole delivering and then the baby delivering a baby is
no, that's because your wife was a midwife.
That's
right?
true.
All right.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why you're
yeah.
zoned into that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, but it starts with the baby lying inside something, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird bubbly
So it's
thing.
like-
Because he taps it like. Ding,
That's
ding.
like the long-term delivery. Maybe that's like his first mission.
No,
and
but-
the end of
but,
the game,
you
he'll
know,
hand
but
the
that-
baby.
that
He's
I
like
just-
a stork.
I just keep getting back to this whole carrying a baby as a man. There's something going on there. There's something going on there.
Other than the obvious, like that's Kojima, and then Metal Gear is the baby, and then it's being torn away from. That's like all the
you've been thinking about
That's
this.
what all the
Ah,
fans
okay.
are
Way
going,
too
"Oh,
much.
Way too deep.
Okay,
Konami's,
okay.
like snapping the neck of his
No,
baby,
that's
like,
way
and
too
stuff,
way too
and-
deep. Yeah.
That's a lot of money to just have a bit of a bitch at your company, right?
Yeah.
Come on, let's
If
go.
Sony's funding it, have on. Let's
Yeah.
go for it, man. Get your Guillermo del Toro in there.
I
Let's have some
I
fun.
tell you what I did do though. I got to play the new Destiny 2 mode,
Oh,
Gambit
okay.
mode.
Yeah,
right?
what'd you think?
I never get to play anything when we're working, do you?
No.
You never get to, you're just doing stuff all day and you're focusing. But anyway, I got to go and play it, and it's really cool.
It's like the PvE mixed with PvP thing.
Yeah, I don't understand the acronyms.
I
Like,
don't know.
It's like, oh, the new mode, and in the same words. I just like, I don't know. Just do I
Yeah.
shoot people? And the guy I was with was just like, look, don't worry, just shoot people and run around and don't die. So okay, yeah, I can do that. And I'm running around, and it's like, what are these triangles? Just pick the triangles up. Okay, pick the triangles up.
Yeah.
And it was like it was bizarrely enjoyable.
It's gonna be nice just to not see a Lego on a screen for like that 20-minute span. Just get a nice break. For
Just supposed to go to triangles, right, not squares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can that exist?
Yeah,
Yeah.
What is this?
I do not go in the hole.
It's just wrong. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. I mean, you know.
Yeah. I know, but that was pretty good. I'm super pumped that there's Overcooked 2 coming.
Oh yeah, great fun.
Yeah, that's a good game.
Love
I
Seems
haven't
to
played
be,
Overcooked.
yeah.
It's something to do.
You should do it.
Oh.
Get a group together.
Okay,
Oh,
that look
yeah.
alone is worth it. Okay, I'm gonna play Overcooked.
Especially if you have people that come around that don't play video games.
It's one of those
because-
games.
Yeah, when we play at home, my partner Vicky isn't into games, but she plays because she plays to being Gordon Ramsay. and she's just like, do this, cut the onions, and we're just like, yeah, okay. And it's so much fun. It's
Okay,
like
okay.
Playlink stuff. Playlink stuff is so much fun. Just coming around, getting your mobile.
Yeah.
I just love stuff like that.
Yeah,
So I'm more pumped by stuff like that than I am for post-apocalyptic game 72.
You just don't want to be bummed out, or what's the problem with post-apocalyptic games?
It's a bit bleak, right?
Well, yeah.
I subscribed to this industry when I joined it as video games are a form of entertainment.
Yeah,
I want
fun.
to be entertained. I want to have fun. I don't want a life simulator. I don't want to be like made to be depressed.
Last of Us, just nope.
Yeah, and well, actually no, because those guys do a great job.
Okay.
I don't think I'll play the game. I'll be honest.
Oh really?
Because I get very little time, but I can.
Sure.
I preferred Naughty Dog when they were doing like Crash and Jack and Daxter
Have some
and
fun, yeah.
the heyday of Mark Cerny. But I'm super pumped for Spyro. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
I just like I like to be entertained.
Yeah.
I like to have fun.
Yeah,
I remember Nintendo always used to say to us, like, it's a game, it's meant to be fun, right? Our machine just does that.
Yeah.
It doesn't do internet connectivity, all that nonsense at the start that they do now. But then they were saying, we just don't do that. It's a machine to have fun, and just that's what it's about, just the fun, right? And they used to always be like that. And that kind of subtractive design that they do, where they pull things away rather than add things to get to the essence, and then they re-edit again. How they design games. And we always felt Nintendo always felt like that. They never had anything else in mind apart from that. That was it. Yeah. That was their goal, to have fun playing something.
It's
But,
nice.
but this discussion is what games are all about, because for every person like me that likes one type of game, there's people that like the other type.
Yeah.
I only want the dark stuff.
Yeah, and I love it. There's room for every type of game and every genre, because there's just so much variety.
Like Hitman 2, where you don't know what the tone is, but it works. It's dark, but it's funny, but it's
dark,
murder.
but it's
but
bright
I
and
think,
sunny.
what works for me is that the game kind of takes itself very seriously, right? It's what you do with it that makes it bonkers, right? It's like we give you some tools, and what you do with the tools, that's up to you. It wants to look crisp and nice and awesome, right? And I think that's a good place to be. But then we put it in front of people, and then we lose control, and they take over, right? I think that's also something about it in that is what the machines these computers can help us do, right? We've been talking about interactive entertainment. I remember having on PC some game where there were full motion video, and then you could kind of branching storylines and all that stuff, right? And I think that we kind of are in that area with Hitman because of the systemics and the all the theater pieces that can play out.
Yeah.
It kind of adapts and kind of to what you're doing, and I think that makes it interesting. And
I look at my son, like, and he he's him and his friends do like PUBG to Fortnite to Overwatch to League of Legends, and round when they get bored and it gets new and they get round and round, you know. But he still wants to go back and sit and play like Mario on his Switch. He still has that moment where he wants to just get out of that and just go, let's just play something that's just fun and colourful. He still has that, or like play Mario Rabbids, for instance. Like, he still wants to do that, and then goes back to with his friends. You know, there's still moments like that. I think.
I have my 16-year-old daughter, and whenever there's, you know, some sort of birthday and there's a lot of people in the house, then all the kids, all of a sudden, I look into the living room and everybody's playing Mario Kart.
Right. Yeah.
Even her. Yeah. And that's just like, okay, that's kind of fundamental fun that just works. It's amazing.
You get your Wii out and you do something like the bowling crap or something like that, you know, something, that kind of thing. You know, I think there's still space.
Is that the official title?
But you know what I mean? It's like I think there's still space for that.
Bowling crap.
Bowling crap, whatever it was. But I mean, there's still space for that. I feel. I think that's all. Like it is. You know, I think you're right. There's still, all of it can coexist. Like, I kind of feel in music, you used to go through genres where it'd be the pop to the disco to the metal to whatever, and then it'd go and burn to the next thing. Now it just all coexists all the time. Everything's every hip hop and metal, and it's all together all the time. It hasn't come and gone. It just stays.
Yeah, hell of a time for games. Yeah. Hey guys, everyone's falling asleep. That's not on camera. Come by to close out E3 2013. Cannot thank you enough. Looking forward to your games so much. Grant, whatever you're doing in the future, I'm sure it's going to be great.
Veteran, it'll be.
Absolutely.
Veterinistic.
Let me tell you what a good guy Grant is. No, seriously, let me tell you this. We do this Extra Life charity stream every year at Game Informer.
Right.
This lovely bloke, is that a good term?
Fine chap.
This fine chap. He sent over for us to auction off a track from Banjo-Kazooie that no one in the outside world had ever heard.
I did. Yeah.
And then we put it on a thumb drive. I didn't even listen to it. I saw the waveform. It looked like a good waveform. I just saw the waveform, put it on a thumb drive, shipped it out to the person that bid the most to help a children's hospital.
That's awesome.
I'm nice at heart.
Actually, Jean-Michel Jarre did roughly the same.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did an album. I think it was called Music for Supermarkets. That was only printed one.
Shit.
And then
he's like mega famous, like I'm not, right? So it's worth something.
I think it is.
It's absolutely amazing. We can't thank you enough. And everybody, thank you so much. And thank you so much for watching and listening to this episode of the Game Informer Show podcast. We'll be back on Thursday with a new episode back in Minnesota out of LA.
Yeah, I won't be there.
Yeah,
I can't be there.
It's far too cold.
We gotta go watch Lego Incredibles or something. You should come by at some point, Grant. It'd be a good time. All right, bye everybody. Thanks for tuning in.